and welcome to this month, year, week. I don't know how long it's been since the last one.
This is the third attempt at this podcast, Hugh. Let's not beat around the bush.
We'll get to that, but welcome to this Patches In podcast. I'm with our co-host Dom.
Hello.
And Hamish, can you say something to make sure you are okay for this one?
Something to make sure that you're okay for this one.
Oh man. Right, okay. This is the third attempt at this podcast. The first one is no one's real fault. We all kind of messed up. We didn't have backup recording. The recording that we did have just kind of fucked up, and that happens. Shit happens. The second one is much funnier. It's much funnier. I'll set the scene a little bit. We've been struggling to get together, mostly because we all have way different schedules. Like, it's hard to find a couple of hours where we all have enough energy to sit around and talk like this. But we still want to do it, so we're striving to do it. Sometimes it interrupts our social lives, but some people try and mix those parts of their life, their patches in podcast time and their social life. So we say we're going to do it on Sunday. Well, Sunday.
To be fair, hold on. To be fair, it wasn't definitely confirmed. Just putting that out there first. It was just like, I think that the last thing said was, so are we doing it on Sunday, or are we good for Sunday then? There was no definitive. Saying, right?
We're all very like patchy when it comes to the chat and the replies. But,
and I do think that's because of like the work that we all do.
Yeah.
Like, again, see when your shift works and your people are off sick or there's holidays and stuff. It's like, you obviously that comes first and stuff as well. So yeah, but that is just life, as you said.
I was gonna say we're all adults. We get responsibilities. Not one of us has a kid or anything like that.
I have a dog and her name is Paige, and she is basically like a toddler.
Yeah.
She's a hairy toddler. I got to look after.
And Angie looks after her.
And she has a dog. Excuse me. She has a dog, by the way. And she's not just a hairy toddler that she's running about. And Angie does look after her as well. Yes.
Right, so to continue that small story, I text Hamish earlier. I think I phoned him as well, like, hey, you still want to do this? And I think it was like 3 o'clock, and he's like, yeah. And I was like, well, I'm doing a couple of things. I'll text you when I get home and we'll start. I think you were working or something that day as well, Dom. So, like,
yeah, I was doing work.
When I phone him, I can tell there's something wrong, right? His voice is a little different. His cadence is strange. His replies are mostly mumbles. Right. So what happens, Tom? Can you tell me what happened when Hamish came onto the video call?
He looked happy,
but what did he do before that? If you remember,
I don't really remember what he did, but I can remember just like, oh, this is going to be either amazing or this is going to be a train wreck.
I don't know if you were there and saw this, but he fell into the seat. Like, he fell into his chair.
I was just excited to start.
He was really happy.
And from the first 5 minutes, we could tell this was not going to go well. And to be fair, I thought it was funny at the time, and then after re-listening to it to try and edit it, I was like, oh god, no one is going to find this funny except us. Like, there was a lot of parts where we're trying to talk about something, and Hamish is obviously not listening, and just interrupts halfway through a sentence. And he's just like, "This is fucking boring," and just move, goes, and he's going to go, "Well, don't be boring," but he literally couldn't tell us what we were saying.
No, I mean, I wasn't going to say don't be boring. I was just going to say that I'm always thinking that. I just usually don't interrupt as much, when I'm sober or.
Oh, that's the thing, is he thinks it all the time. See, right now, while I'm talking, he's thinking, this is so boring. And this guy he's not saying anything that I approve of, unless I start talking about beer.
Oh.
Yeah. those little eyes just open up slightly more, like, hold on.
and I'm not saying he was, drunk. I'm saying he was fucking wasted to the point where... thoughts weren't going through his head properly. There was ideas were popping, but there was no coherency to the ideas.
So yeah, there were pop-ups and Hamish didn't have ad block on, and that was it.
Do you know what? One day, like, we've got to listen to it together and try and figure out what parts we can actually like put out as TikToks and Instagram stories and such, because it is funny, but not for an hour and a half. Like, yeah, like it was just hilarious. Like, see, listening to it, hilarious for us, horrible for anyone who actually wanted to like listen to a flowy conversation, because Hamish would be like, nah, bro, like, nah, this is my time, my opinion. But then, like, he'd start an opinion and he'd go round and then he'd start the opinion again, and we'd have to kind of interrupt him and be like, right, we've done that bit already. Like you'd forgot.
All I really remember, like, I just get wee flashes of it, but I do remember thinking that I made an excellent coherent point, and then you were like, Hamish, that took ages, by the way. And to me it was just like a single sentence, like, you know, easily spoken, but it must have obviously went on for ages. Like,
it was, I think it was, you tried to say this sentence like 5 or 6 times.
Yeah, when I listened to a few of it, it was very much like, and this thing, and this, and I'm like, I mean, do you know the thing is though, a lot of our audience won't know, for the last couple we've tried to do like a video version of it as well, so you can see our lovely faces, and you can see, like, I don't know what it is, like you're glazed over, like a glazed ham.
Yeah. It was just very funny, mate. I enjoyed it, but like...
I've got a question for you, Hamish.
Okay.
Can you remember anything that happened in that podcast? Anything? Apart from maybe the one story that you may have told that we'll have to figure out if we can say again.
I do remember that story, but I think I probably butchered it, because I thought you guys knew. I thought everyone was talking about it in the group chat and stuff like that. But then it turns out you didn't know. And then I remember a confession at the end, which was just a joke. But then thinking back, like, everyone's going to take that totally seriously. So
yeah. That's part of the reason why you haven't had a podcast from us in a month and a half. No, it's not the only reason. That's like, I'm not saying that's the only reason. Me and Dom have also been abroad in that time, and like Hamish's work kind of flat out as well. So like, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that's the main reason. I'm just saying that's a very funny reason. Like,
didn't help.
Yeah,
we're all back. I'm sure I just landed. Like, I was just back from my holiday when we were doing one of the podcasts that failed, and then I think we need to get it done before Hugh goes on holiday, and it was just
just life, mate.
Now we're trying to kind of squeeze this one in before I go away on holiday.
There you go. See, like this,
and
we're all fucking off.
And actually, our last podcast was probably our most successful ever. For a reason.
Probably.
I mean, it's not. It's just strange how we've went from.
It's not like Hugh and Jason streaming Battlefront, on twitch.tv/PatchesInGame. It's not that level of like volume.
Yeah, it's significantly more than we usually get, and it's from places that I'm not sure understand us. Like, there's a lot of Mexico. Obviously, America, United States, but I honestly don't know how much they get of the kind of back and forth. A few other different countries, European countries and stuff, like. And if any of you are still listening after listening to one and going, "What the fuck is this?" Like, drop us a wee DM on Instagram or something. I mean, we'll stop Hamish messaging you when, like, you know, it gets a bit drunk and
a bit raunchy.
I know. I'm not actually making a joke that Hamish hits on the, like, people who listen to the podcast.
Well, if there's any fit ones, obviously, but most of our fans are probably uggos, so yeah, you're safe.
Well, there you go. Everyone is going to stop listening now. But
what's wrong with them? Not you listening. You're obviously, you know, very sexy.
Would just like an explanation of where you found it, because one theory is Hamish's very successful TikToks. I mean, very few of them have anything to do with gaming now, and a lot of them are just his thoughts. I'm getting an insight into what he thinks about every day, to be honest. Like, Hamish, have you got any in the drafts ready to go?
I was just about to say, they're the tame ones. I made like 9 or 10 when I was, surprise, a wee bit drunk, and then I looked at them like the next few days, and I was like, am I brave enough to post this? Are we big enough to be cancelled yet? Like,
big enough to be cancelled.
But if you are listening, and you know you're a new fan, then thank you for listening to us, and hopefully you do continue. If you want just the cliff notes, I'm Hamish. I'm like the funny, handsome, intelligent one with all the best opinions, and the other guys are Hugh and Dom. So
yeah, okay.
That's all you need to know.
Hamish is the drunk of the podcast.
Yep, I can do all of that and be drunk at the same time.
I just want to let you know he's actually drinking a bottle of red wine. And not like in a glass or anything like that. He's actually just drinking from a bottle of red wine. Actually,
I'm just gonna say right now. See, the reason why Hamish, like, so again, and we're on cam, he's got like a blood background at the moment, so it's all blurred out, so you can't really see. He's also doesn't want us to see who he's sponsored by, but he also doesn't want us to see his sponsor.
Yeah. Maybe we should have a
Thank God that you mentioned that it's bloody. I thought that was just me. I thought I'd had more wine than I realised.
3 bottles of wine keeps the doctor away, right? Like, no.
As long as you guys can see that as well, that's all right.
I try and take a photo of Hamish when he gets these real jakey moments. Like, remember when we were walking home and you were drinking that bottle of wine, and I was like, "Man, what are you doing?" And you're like, "I'm drinking my fucking wine." Well, what do you think I'm doing? I was like,
mate, hold on, that's called road wine, Hugh.
Yeah. And so I need to defend myself on 2 separate occasions here. I didn't have a glass because we were, walking through the street, so I obviously can't pour that wine into a glass.
Of course.
And I'm not using the glass now because then I need to run the water, and there might be a drought one day in Scotland, mate. It's very dry here.
Just like this podcast is humour.
We are very droll in this podcast. Very droll. That's how I would describe us. Like, dry, witty, droll,
drunk.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm not. Dom, do you get drunk that often? I don't think you do.
No. Like back in the old days, maybe it would just be Jaeger all the time, 24/7.
Oh.
But yeah, like I don't know. I think it's more. I don't know. I just don't. I used to like see when we first started podcasting and that. It was nice to have like a wee drink then and there, but then we sort of located in a way that I had to drive.
Yeah,
and I kind of just got used to not drinking.
It used to just be me and Hamish drinking, like, and you being like, "Guys, shut the fuck up."
Driving Hamish home.
I remember a few.
But then when I started doing some streams, I've been drinking with them as well. We've done that Cuphead stream with Angie. We've had a couple of drinks, Halloween streams.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Oh, I know this is
I
the wrong time.
I definitely need to drink when I'm watching your streaming, Dom.
This is the wrong time to organise streams, but we've got a few ideas. We'll get them on the Instagram, and the Instagram's at Patches In Official. Find it there. Yeah. Maybe on Hamish's TikToks if we get him like drunk enough to.
TikToks, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Generally, I'll share them all.
Right,
everywhere.
Aye, we'll put out.
They must have vastly different audiences, because sometimes I'll put them on TikTok and it'll get like 4 views, and then I'll put it on YouTube, then it'll be like tens of thousands, and it's like, I've not been able to crack the code of.
Yeah, and Facebook as well. Like you've put someone on Facebook and they've came through. I'm like, what the fuck? Is so consistency is so inconsistent.
I get like so many notifications about like, random names has liked your Facebook video, and I'm like, all right, okay, who are these people? What? Like, who are you people?
I uploaded something.
Oh, please no, please no. It's like that time Hamish uploaded that unedited podcast where we were pure gossiping about personal family members and stuff like that.
No, we weren't. You were.
Oh, 100%. I hate them, man.
Anyway,
right. It's been a long time. I don't expect us to go through everything we have been playing for the last 2 months, but we'll do cliff notes of a few things. I'm going to pick random who I'm going to ask first. So, actually, I'm going to ask: is anyone ready?
Yeah, always, mate. Born ready.
Okay, Hamish.
But you ready now?
Hamish, what have you been playing lately, mate, to entertain these gaming fans?
So, I did a wee stream the other day. It's obviously spooky season. I know I took a wee second there, but I am ready. I wasn't expecting games. I've got them written down after. You've probably heard Scorn, new game out. Quite a lot of people are talking about it. I did a wee stream of it. and it's a very beautiful game. Like visually, I mean, it's a horror game.
Yeah.
There's lots of brutality and wee guys getting sawn up and stuff like that. I think Dom watched my stream and saw like there's a wee guy in a wee egg thing, and he gets like literally sawn into pieces and stuff like that.
It's scooped out and that. You're like, what the? Ooh.
But I mean, it looks visually stunning.
Yeah.
But then it's kind of a puzzle game with some combat elements, and I'm not very far in it, but most of the people that I see talking about it are saying that the combat isn't very robust.
Really?
Yeah, it feels kind of tacked on at the end. Like, but see, when I looked at the game at first, I didn't really know much about it. I just thought, Spooktober, it's a spooky looking game, so I'll try that and get a wee stream of that going. It's not the kind of game that when I looked at it though, I was thinking this needs combat. It should have probably just stayed as a horror puzzle game,
Yeah, I was thinking. See, when you were playing it, I was thinking, oh, this is giving me Myst vibes. Very much like solve puzzle, go to the next one, but it just had this grotesque alien, gore horror kind of
the
atmosphere.
The Geiger
yeah,
one.
A lot of the stuff is Geiger inspired, I would say.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, very like, ooh, a disturbing kind of things. Again, see when you look down on yourself and you seen like your anatomy as well, you get to see, you're like, oh, that's just ugh.
Yeah, you don't really have skin or anything like that.
Yeah,
I've heard the puzzles are difficult and maybe not intuitive. If you know what I mean, they just kind of drop you in it without any real clues to what to do to progress.
Yeah, like I would say, Hamish, when you were playing it, you did have a bit of an issue with the first one, but like soon as you solved it a lot quicker than a lot of people that I've seen play it. Like you were like, oh, I just need to do this, and that was it. It can be. It's not very. It's very not very handholdy. It's very much just look at this gross stuff.
I was just about to say, it doesn't really hold your hand. You don't get a journal telling you what to do. You don't get a map showing you like this is where you need to go or anything like that.
Mm.
Which I mean, you don't really need. And a lot of the elements you could kind of figure out at first, but because of the setting, it's not a very straightforward layout of a map. So you kind of get turned around a wee bit, and you're like, right, where am I? Where do I need to go now? Have I been down that way to see if I've done everything, that kind of thing? So yeah, I can see people getting frustrated with it, and I don't think I'm going to play much more of it. It was mostly just for a wee stream, and it's not really hooked me that much. And I do like puzzle games and stuff like that, but because they were quite tedious, you don't get enough of them to keep you interested and keep you kind of wanting to solve the next one, basically.
Yeah.
So, like, I've heard a lot of people say they're disappointed. A lot of people were waiting on this because of the visual style.
All your family, aye.
Disappointed in me? Like, no, they're disappointed in me, not Scorn, mate. Like, no, the reviews and stuff have been, it looks beautiful and stuff like that, but the puzzles are kind of annoying. Annoying is a word I've heard used about the game quite a lot. It's just like frustrating, annoying.
I dig the atmosphere of it when you were playing it. It was very like isolated, very like there was not much sound effects to it apart from when you were scooping that poor boy. Then like I did like the mechanics, like when you were using like your hands into like that mad finger muscle and you had to pull that. So it's supposed to make you feel uncomfortable, I guess. But yeah, glad it's on Game Pass as well, man. Like, I think if you paid for that game and you were very much, it's not what I expected when you were playing it, because I've got it downloaded on the Xbox. And I was like, I can't wait to play it. And then when I was watching you play it, I was like, it's a puzzle game. What wasn't anything I was expecting, so I was a bit disappointed.
Yeah, it seems like they've put all of their resources into making, not just the environments, but the models and everything. That's been their 90% of their focus. Let's make this look spooky. Let's make these textures look great and really give it a very detailed kind of look and everything, and all the models and everything. And then they've also just kind of went, oh shit, we're meant to actually put some kind of gameplay in this, aren't we?
Yeah, I forgot about this.
We'll just make some puzzles and a wee bit of weird combat. But like I say, I never played it all that much, so I'm maybe being a wee bit unfair to it. But it also didn't really make me want to play it more, so...
If you don't click with it, you don't click with it. Like, I don't think... See, with Game Pass, it's as you're probably going to hear later from me as well, if you can like a game, but it might not click for you long term, you don't have to... Because you've not made that a financial, transaction, you don't have to, like, go, I need to get my money's worth.
Yeah.
You drop it, which, don't know, like, it might not be a good thing for the future of gaming, but it's good for us now. Have you played anything else in the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, so I wanted a wee kind of game that I could just kind of pick up and play, and I don't know why, but I got back into like NBA. But normally I would play 2K, but I think I've mentioned in the past how grindy that is, because obviously you can buy like virtual currency to level up your guy and stuff like that, and they obviously want you to do that, so you're absolutely shite at the start of it, just to frustrate people into buying it and spending money.
Yeah, that's it, mate. That's how they get you. I want to hurry up. Let's spend 30 quid.
But I was so I didn't really want to play a 2K game, and then I looked at what was available in NBA Live 19. So it's a couple of years old, but I was like, I've not actually played this one, so I'll give it a shot. And I tell you what, it's a lot more user friendly. Like, you don't feel like a 4-year-old playing against the Lakers or anything like that. Like, you're not shit immediately at the start, and you do get a few different modes. You get kind of a similar thing to like an Ultimate Team, where you can make your own wee crew and stuff like that. Online battles and stuff like that. But you also get like a street mode, so you can play like street rooms where there's less actual like official rooms and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you can still build up your guy, go all around the world and stuff like that, and beat certain people, and then add them to your roster. But then there's also like what you would typically call a career mode, where you actually go through the NBA and stuff like that, and you have a season and that kind of thing.
How is the customization, see, for like your character, your player, see, for their version of Ultimate Team? Is it, because I've seen like in FIFA and other sort of 2K games and that it's not, they look good, but you can make some messed up versions and be like stupidly tall just to have that height advantage. Do they have like, it's more is it more user friendly that way as well, where it's easier to make a guy quickly to get into the game quicker, or is there wee tweaks that you'd be like, I'm going to sit for a good hour or so just to get my basketball player to look exactly like me?
Well, you see, I think I'm too late to do it, because I think they don't support it anymore. But as with quite a lot of the EA Sports games, they did have like a game face thing, so you could put your face in it. Otherwise, it's basically just pick one of these faces. You can't even adjust like the individual parts, which at the end of the day is not that bad. And then it's only really just height and weight, and those will affect like your stats and stuff like that, obviously. And then you're pretty much in it. But as far as the customization for your kit and stuff like that, there is quite a lot, because you can get, like, for your street gear, loads of just regular stuff, t-shirts, tank tops, all that kind of thing. And then it's also kind of, it's not loot boxy in a way that you pay money for them, but like, say if you do a bunch of games, you'll get a reward, and then it can have a certain thing in it. So if there's something that you really want, you can eventually pay for it with the currency in game, or you can just keep winning that reward and try and get it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But it's not really a huge part of it, to be honest. Like, at least I don't think so. That was another thing with 2K, is like, it started getting a bit ridiculous with the apparel and stuff like that you could wear. It was getting silly things, and again, it was just loads of new things just to get people to spend money. But there's not as big a focus on it.
I think that this will be a thing in the future, that these EA and 2K sports games will become like this like grindy machine and not enjoyable. Like, I think Madden is like fucked this year. Like, everyone hates it. Not that like anyone like outside America plays Madden, but like, it's massive.
I play Madden.
Like, sure.
You mad? You mad, bro?
But like, I think there's going to be a market for like a simpler game in the future, or even just go back to like fuck it, FIFA 15 or whatever, like, or FIFA 12 before things got crazy with these fucking microtransactions.
Well, I think it's more that people. Well, I agree with you there with that, Hugh. I think it's more people would want more of an arcade experience than they want a simulation. You could have like a amazing looking game, but if it feels hollow, then you're not going to enjoy it. You might get the colours and all these cool things that you would like to see on a player, and they might look realistic. But if the gameplay itself hasn't progressed or hasn't changed, then people aren't going to play it. And I think that's why people were really fed up with Madden. And I'm kind of glad that 2K have maybe reasserted themselves, because I know that they had that big like that clusterfuck of that WWE game that was just broken. And maybe they're just like, well, maybe we should take time to do these games. Maybe if we're going to do these microtransactions, we can't be as aggressive. We've got to have a game foundation first and then build off of that, and then that's how we get the money back. But yeah, it's getting. I think it's getting so much worse. And like, there's a game that I played that I was very much like, wow, this is horrible. Ugh.
Yeah, I think FIFA has got it bad the last couple of years because they've not really updated any other modes apart from Ultimate Team. Which,
yeah, that's the money, man. That's where the money is.
I know, but like, I'm
doing my Italian hand gesture, like, it's the money.
I've never really been into it, and like, I think a lot of people like just kind of want to play a game. You know what I mean? Like, like, I've never been into Ultimate Team. Massive into FIFA, obviously, but never into Ultimate Team.
Yeah,
but it's becoming too much. Alright, I need to do all this other stuff that's not playing as my favourite team to like play the game. But I think there'll be a market for older sports titles in the future. It's kind of cool that you went back to like 19 instead of buying a new one, Hamish.
Yeah.
I don't even know if there is a new one. NBA Live. I don't know if they are still making them. They probably are. Yeah. But I'll be honest. Part of it was just because I was looking at the achievements and I didn't have any in that, and I was like, I must not play this one, so I'll play it. And yeah, like I say, I wanted to avoid a 2K grind fest, basically.
Yeah.
The only other thing I've really been playing is I've still been not as much as before, but the Disney Dreamlight Valley, the Disney Animal Crossing type game.
Hamish, what I'm going to say to you right now, and she is present in the room for me to say this, like, you've cursed this household with that game. Angie is sitting right now, she's sitting playing it right now because the new update that just came out.
Yeah,
Angie, how much do you love the game? Scars in it.
Yeah.
Can you hear her saying that?
No problem, Angie.
No problem.
There's honestly quite a few people that I've mentioned it to, and they'd be like, maybe I'll check it out. I suppose Animal Crossing was alright. I played that over COVID and stuff like that. And then the next time I see them, they're like, oh my god, I fucking love this game.
Honestly, man, that's what it's been like, because I'd mentioned to one of the boys in work, I says, one of the boys in the podcast actually mentioned this, like, Dreamlight Valley, it's very much like Animal Crossing. Oh, my missus likes Animal Crossing. I was like, oh. But then he's came in going, I've sat and played that game for hours, man. I just can't get away from it, like some sort of drug. And I downloaded it after your like when you said a few weeks ago. It's like I've just had it pre-downloaded, and I think Andrew booked it up about a week or so ago, and that's been it. Like, like I can see what it's like. See, because you all have those Disney characters that are all on the screen having a good time, and you just want to be like, I want to be friends with you, because the options they give you are like, you can play along with the story, or you can be like a mad Disney fan, or you could be like, I don't care. It's very much like that. Very like Mass Effect, but all have the same.
There's also like, even if you strip away all the Disney aspect of it, it's still a solid game underneath, like it's still an enjoyable, addictive game. But yeah, I mean, everyone to some degree likes Disney. There's a reason that it's so fucking popular.
Everywhere, man.
Yeah. I can't remember if this was on the last podcast or maybe even the one before it, but I just got a flashback there when we were talking about it, and I was talking about
go say it. Say it.
Talking about clapping Ariel's mermaid cheeks.
Yeah.
And then I was like, do mermaids have cheeks? You know, is there like a cleft? But yeah, that's an insight into the drunken mind of Hamish.
Yeah, we'll clip that part.
Yeah. Thanks, mate.
No, that's a good question for the podcast. Do mermaids have cheeks? And if so, can they clap?
I'm just interested in, you know, the biology of it. That's all. A scientific mind, you know.
Yeah, the biology.
But yeah, like Angie was saying there's obviously, well, like you were mentioning, Angie's playing it because of the new update. It just dropped today. Yeah. Raging that I was on a late shift in work because it dropped at like 2 o'clock today, and I've been working like since before then. But my boy Scar's in it, so I'm very excited to play that. The thing is, it's still an early access game, so it's good that they're, you know, actively working on it.
Yeah, it looks like they've done a lot of improvements for it as well. I won't go into too many details because, again, one, I don't really play the game, but two is like I don't want to spoil anything for yourself, Hamish. So you'll, like, once we're done here, you can get back doing your crops and talking to Mickey and fishing with Goofy. My boy Goofy, man, what a boy!
Do you think that's where like the Kingdom Hearts characters go to retire, and like Goofy and like Donald have got like PTSD, like
when they're not fighting, like they're just chilling out.
That Zora boy fucked us up, yuck.
But yeah, I've obviously not had a chance to play it, but I'm looking forward to getting on. Yeah, I relate to Scar a lot, and I think about Scar every single time that I do this podcast with you guys.
Is that because you're the loser younger brother?
No, because remember when he says I'm surrounded by idiots? That's me in this podcast every time.
I honestly thought it was because you love a big bunch of coconuts.
Yeah. That's all I've really been playing though.
Right, cool. Tom, we'll go to you next, mate. What have you been playing? And don't say anything Hamish has said.
Anything Hamish said? Okay, don't say anything Hamish said.
He said, "Don't say anything Hamish said."
Go ahead.
Fuck! I've ruined it. Still been playing Fortnite. Still having a good laugh with that with their Halloween stuff that's just coming out as well. They've got Mr. Meeseeks as a character now, and I'm going, you have to buy him. I'm like, fuck! I don't want to buy, but I love Mr. Meeseeks. But I don't want to buy, but I love Mr. Meeseeks. So I'm stuck with that. But a game that I downloaded and I swear to God played it for an hour and had to delete it was Overwatch 2.
I can get involved here. I've played that quite a lot with Ross. Friend of the podcast,
Ross.
Yep.
I really liked Overwatch 1. Like, I played that for months. But it became a bit toxic, and then it became really toxic. So so that came out 2016.
Yeah,
so I can remember getting because I was still working in my pawnbroker job, so we used to get like used games in all the time, and we got Overwatch in just when all the updates came out, so the full game was out. I bought it for my brother, who I was living with at the time, and he was like, "This is great. That's a great game. You should play it." And we'd sit for hours, just like switching between profiles just to see how well we could do. But the better levels you got, the more toxic players you had. Very much like League of Legends or any sort of game like that, where people like you need to play to the style because that's how the game should be played. So I kind of dropped off it, and I was like, I wonder if they'll ever, do a big update or a sequel that will, balance it out and get rid of all this, all this nastiness. Because again, they did everything from like basically blocking your computer's IP. What was it they did? They blocked your graphics card. They took that. They were the first company to do that, Blizzard, to basically ban people from doing that. To like, taking away Blizzard accounts completely and be like, you're not getting it back at all. So I was like, okay, maybe if they do this Overwatch 2, it'll be a bit more updated. They'll do all these things the fans have been asking for years. And nah, like right away, it felt old. It felt samey, and it's
same
not.
Game.
It's the exact same game, and I was really disappointed.
Like,
that's it.
I'll give a bit of my insight in it, right? Because I never really played Overwatch 1 much, right? But this was free, and we're between FPSs right now because we've kind of dropped Halo Infinite because it's Halo Infinite and it's not got any better since the day it came out. And and Modern Warfare 2 isn't out yet. So Ross said he was playing it. I downloaded it. We played maybe 2 nights worth of games, and at the start I quite enjoyed it because it was quite different. You know, it's not it's not a Twitch shooter. You know what I mean? Like you're not out there fucking dying instantly and stuff like that. What I did have to get used to is the roles, like of damage, tanks, support, like, which, you know, it's easy to figure out. But it's the combos you need to use. Different. Like, I was kind of interested in how to combo these characters and how to get them to work and stuff. But like, it just felt kind of like there was one character that Ross kept going, Moira, like, and she's super overpowered. Like, to the point I was the only character that was killing me. She can heal and kill at the same time. And I was going like tanks, and I was going damage characters, and I was like, I'm not really feeling any of these characters. They all look, some of them play really well, but like, I don't ever feel like I'm doing enough damage.
Yeah, and that's been a big critical part of the game. It's like they basically neutered all the characters. They've basically hard resetted them and not done the balance properly, where you have one character's OP, everyone wants to go said character, so you get a team of them. There's no balance.
Yeah.
But if you've got players that aren't going to play to their character or play defense or play tank, then the game's lost. There's no point in playing the game.
Yeah, I had that.
And it's very much like,
we had a lot of games, me and Ross, where he would go support and I would go tank. So I would go ahead, obviously being the tank, but then everyone would just run in opposite directions, and I'm like, well, no, you need to stay behind or around me, behind my shield, and so that Ross can support all of us, like, sort of thing. So like, he can heal me, heal the damage guys when they get a bit more damage and stuff. But like, unless you're playing with 5 people in a party, it just feels like it's impossible to win a game. Yeah, because you have to work together. It is one of them team building games, and I know what you're saying, that you played the first one and you're disappointed that didn't get more gameplay updates. I quite enjoyed the gameplay, the game to game gameplay, if you know what I mean. It was quite addicting. Yeah. The games are quite fast. It's not just about kills, it's about doing these objectives. I just enjoyed it, and then it got to a point where like it wasn't enjoyable. We were getting absolutely hammered by these teams because like no one would play their role.
No one was playing.
And I just kind of dropped it. I deleted it off my Xbox, just mostly because I was just like, that's enough. I'm not putting the time in to get better at this, because you'd need to go through every character and figure it out.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. And like, there's too many games that want your attention. This is one of these games that you have to, that's the only game you need to play. You might as well delete all other games off your console. Buy that battle pass, get those skins, go to McDonald's, get that tracer skin. You know, that's it. That's you. You're in this game now. And then again, I completely understand where you're coming from. But you see, when you have a character that you click with, it's great, it's fun. Or you have a team that you click with. Like, if you match with people that are like, you know, they do play their roles and that, you can see how you can, I can spend hours playing this. But yeah, it's very few and far between. And then obviously the more advanced you get into it, I don't know what it's like now, but man, I can't play games where people call me shit all the time. I do this podcast, it's bad enough when everyone calls me shit.
See, the thing is, as well, sorry to interrupt. See, I bet you the further up you go, though, and the more skillful players that you play, they will be people that go on as a team. Yeah. And you have no chance against them in that type of game unless you have a full team as well. And you've seen what our, like, Call of Duty chat is like to try and get games of Call of Duty. It's very, very rarely that we can get like more than 2, at a push 3 people on at the same time. And this doesn't appear to me to be a kind of game that you can just be like, I'll just plug and play with randoms, because, you know, like you were saying, Hugh, people just fuck off and do their own thing. Because in these kind of games, everyone wants to be, I'll get the most kills, I'll do the most, and it's like, well, if you want to actually win, then we need to work as a team.
And again, it doesn't help. It doesn't help. It's like a daily, monthly kind of, like, you know, battle pass system they've got as well. I mean, you suffer from that like in most games that are like this. Like Fortnite's really bad for that as well. Like, you'll have people that will do a certain task and they'll spawn in a certain area so they can, I don't know, pick up a bunch of ammo, and it's like, well, are you not going to play the game? No, I need to do this to get my dailies in.
I just need to tick these boxes.
Yeah, and if you've got folk that are in that constantly, then it takes away from the game. It takes away from the experience, because either the game's way too easy because all these people are sitting about trying to do these tasks and they don't really care about the match, or it gets to a point where, oh shit, I need to do this.
Yeah, I think dailies and that shouldn't be in team-based games. Like,
I mean, I think the easiest way of doing it is just having two playlists. Sorry to interrupt. Two playlists, have like a social playlist, and nothing counts towards your dailies. And that way, when you're playing with people, they should just be playing the game. And then have like it's another playlist mode where, you know, what you do actually counts towards your objectives and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it may be one way of dealing with it, but
yeah. But again, I'm not going to play it any further. Modern Warfare is out on the 28th of October, and that's going to be my FPS until maybe Halo gets its shit together, or, you know, Titanfall 3 gets announced. But who knows if that's ever going to happen with Respawn kind of doing like 4 or 5 different projects right now, plus Apex is still like fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
But Overwatch 2, mate, I think we both had the same sort of idea. We started off alright, or you said you were disappointed, but you enjoyed it, but you're not going to stick with it.
No, it's already gone. After an hour of it, I was very much like, do you know what? If it's good for folk that want to have this game, because a lot of people have been screaming for a new Overwatch, but it's really put a lot of bad taste in people's mouths because they've waited this long. And again, now with the whole thing going on with Blizzard Activision, you know, with all the accusations that are going around, the purchase from Microsoft and that, they're like, well, just wait until something else comes out and then they'll have to announce Overwatch 3, and everyone's like,
yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard a few rumours of like, not rumours, but people speculating that this became Overwatch 2 instead of just Overwatch, you know, 2.0 sort of idea, if you know what I mean, because they looked at Fortnite, they know the Dragon Ball stuff and the fucking, like you were saying, the Rick and Morty stuff, all those fucking bags of cash that they could get. Yeah. Like, they were like, oh, that's better than a free-to-play model. So let's rebrand the game as Overwatch 2. We'll do some very minor tweaks here and there, add some characters, and then we'll make it free to play, and we can start getting these fucking big media like contracts, like Fortnite have. And by the way, like, Overwatch 2 is doing really fucking well. Like, supposedly it's getting more players than Fortnite right now. Like, no, I've heard this. I think it was at Jez Cordon's podcast. He said it, like, he's quite knowledgeable. He's like, no,
and he knows his shit.
That's the thing. See, because it's free and it's Overwatch, and like, it's generally got that Activision Blizzard fan base and stuff like that, and it's going to be huge. It's just like, I wish it was better.
Yeah, I mean, the first one was pretty popular as well. It's, you know, it's not like it's only just gotten popular now that it's free to play in. But is this game not even? It's not even like a new game. It's replaced Overwatch now, hasn't it? You can't get Overwatch 1, as it were, on the store anymore. If you just search Overwatch, it's the only one.
That's what I mean by
there's no vanilla version.
It is just Overwatch 1 with tweaks, but then made free to play. Because if you made Overwatch free to play now, I think people would be mad because they bought it and stuff. But, like, you know,
I mean, people are already mad with all the other factors with like mobile phone, and you have to be on a pay monthly contract for it to actually generate it properly. So Blizzard, the master company, want to have all your information, and people are like, yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, I did that, by the way. I did the whole Battle.net or whatever it is account, and I was like, this takes fucking forever. What happened to just starting a fucking game, man?
No, they need to know all your information. They'll be asking for your blood type next, and, you know, how often do you pee, what's your diet, you know, how much you weigh. You're like, fuck, I just want to shoot cartoony characters. Let me have a good time.
You sound like my drug dealer. Dom, what else have you been playing?
With EA Play, they have your 10 hours free of like certain games, and I was like, you know what? I've not got Jason, I've not got Hugh badgering on. I'm going to sit and see if I can play FIFA and enjoy it.
Oh.
So I played about 5 hours of FIFA. looks nice. Honestly, like this new gen, again, I don't know if it's because of the new telly or that, or it was on the Series X, but it looks nice. Plays exactly the same, sounds exactly the same. Very much disappointed that way for it. I think I deleted that quite soon after the 5. I was like, you know what, I get it. I get this game.
I mean, if you played any FIFA the year after playing the previous FIFA, they all do pretty much play the same. Like
Hugh, the thing is,
you'll probably understand all the wee nuances because you do play them quite a lot each year. Yeah. But for kind of regular, casual FIFA players, it's just football, and it's just FIFA.
Yeah, there's a lot of meta in the games, like long balls are better this year, or through balls are better, or fast players are tall. This year it's lengthy players, lanky players are like the thing, and like you kind of get bored of it after a while because I think a lot of these things are designed in to make it look different or feel different.
So what's the underlying story arc that's happening in FIFA? Because I mean, there's 23 games of them. None of them have decided to fight dragons yet. There's no like where they were dead the whole time. There was there's no been big twist. Like it just feels like they're stuck in this sort of story part where things just keep going around in circles and they just hit like the refresh button, and these people just say the same stuff over and over again. There's no consistency. It's not Final Fantasy, Like I go to Final Fantasy for my consistency. I don't play FIFA for my consistency.
That's one big coherent story, isn't it? Final
Fantasy. Yeah, huge. One
not
story,
a terrible game at all,
franchise. This guy gets it.
Fuck you, man. Fuck you. How dare
you? If you want a story in FIFA 23, then watch Ted Lasso and then just play as AFC Richmond.
Yeah. There you go.
Ted Lasso's great. Mate, you could have played I think it was like 17, 18, 19 that had the journey. Or maybe 18, 19, 20. But like they had the journey, or like it was that young player and you kind of did a story mode with him, and it was kind of cool. Like, and then they kind of just dropped it. They were like, nah, bored of this now.
Like, I mean, you do still have a wee bit. I played a small bit of FIFA 23 as well on the EA trial. There is still a career mode where you make choices and stuff like that, but most of these sports games, even NBA Live 19 that I was playing, it's usually just replying to text and stuff like that a certain way, and it's not like you're not getting like Witcher levels of fucking story or anything like that, but that kind of thing does keep me interested in them a bit.
You're not getting you're not walking after a football match to go to the showers and Geralt's just sitting in a bath just waiting for you. Just like that. Good shot there, boys.
So, did you win any games? Did you play online? What did you do?
I just played. I did a few exhibition matches and then I tried to start the journey kind of mode, but they've got again, good for the diversity. They've they put I can't remember the female football player they put on the front cover as well, and they're like, oh yeah, we can have it. It's your story, it's our story, and you're like, okay. I played as the women for it as well, and again, I don't know if they did it on purpose, but they did feel a bit slower. And I don't know if that's. I'm like, hold on, is this thing like?
There will be gameplay differences. Aye.
Yeah, there was a lot, and they kept the fans just kept saying women suck, and I was like, hold on, that's a bit. And I turned up the volume, and they were very much like get back in the kitchen, and I was like, this is too real. No, and then I went to the options and I turned it off, the realism option, and I was like, this is horrible.
Is Angie coming to hit you now?
No, she's thankfully left the room.
I like how you waited until she left the room to get in that wee bit. Like...
Also,
but
I've seen Dom play football. I've seen Dom play football.
Terrible.
Yes,
yeah. I'm terrible.
This is sorry to keep going back to NBA Live 19.
I fucking love that game.
No, just I mean you can. There's women in that as well, and when you're doing like the street mode, you can mix whether it's 3 or 5, you can have women in it as well. But it's just always like, man, you're short as fuck. There's no freakishly tall women, and that's obviously not all there is to basketball, but it certainly fucking helps.
Yeah, and obviously joking aside, there the gameplay did feel different for the women, and obviously they would play slightly different, but I thought they would try to be a bit more consistent with it. and I don't know if it's changed online and stuff. Like if you're playing as a female team against a female team online on that as well. But again, as you said, if it's to do with like length is a big factor in this. It's not the small, short, bulky guys again. It's like more crouchy than it is like Rooney, you say.
Look at you, man, naming players.
He's Shrekky, yeah.
Shrekky and Donkey.
Wait, don't you ever talk about Wayne Rooney like that ever again, man. Man was a legend.
Women do generally don't have the length that guys do.
Right, okay. Let's keep
I was waiting for somebody to say something like that, and I was like, it's going to be Hamish.
It depends on the websites you go to, but you know.
Right, Dom, on to another game, mate, before we start getting real misogynist right here. We turn into the fucking...
we've already turned that way.
We'll start on that American podcast circuit. Like, yeah, I hate... You guys, I've always hated women, right? Joe Rogan, I just eat elk meat, eggs, and fucking comment on girls' TikTok saying, fuck you. That's all I do.
That's all I do. Yeah, but apart from that, yeah, played a wee bit more multiverse because they had some of their updates. They're bringing new characters in. They had Gremlins and stuff like that. Obviously, with the launch of Black Adam, they've got him in it as well. Not voiced by The Rock.
Obviously,
which
that's
made
too
sad.
much money.
Obviously not. Yeah. But there was been a few updates on mobile phone games and that as well. I've still been playing. Dragon Ball Legends did their big update with Awakened Piccolo, and I was like, oh, I want
was
orange
he sleeping
Piccolo.
before? Like, does that mean?
Yeah, he was just a really tired green man, and now he's more of like a shiny green man.
Do you remember the Shaq meme? I sleep, I'm awake. Like,
oh yeah.
It's kind of like that, mate.
It's kind of like
woken up now.
Yeah.
He got verified on Twitter and became woke, so it was all good. Oh, I was good. Fuck you guys.
Just giving it back because you guys never laugh at my jokes. So.
I can edit that one out. I might edit the pause to be like 30 seconds. Like...
Have the tumbleweed go by. But they got also announced that Beast Gohan is in it as well. So I'm like, I want to see this boy go. I want to see this man beat up these robots, these androids.
I fell at the mobile gaming scene, man. Like, too much money was spent on these games.
Yeah,
I'm a gambling addict.
Yeah, like, see, this is why I'm a bit hesitant with a lot of games that are switching to this battle pass formula. Because again, for the first time ever, I did buy a battle pass for Fortnite, a game. Like, I bought a battle pass for Halo, and I was like, I want to support these guys. That it was bought for like a necessity. It was like I want Halo to succeed, and I was getting it for free. Fortnite is, how many years old? Like it's crazy, and I was like, no, do it.
7.
Epic need this money to support. Epic, that's big
struggling.
Company.
I don't think they have enough money. No.
Yeah, exactly. But and again, the only reason that I bought it is because I actually downloaded the Spyro trilogy as well. Angie wasn't feeling well after we came back from a holiday, and I was like, oh, this will cheer her up. We'll buy this because it was on discounted. So I got it, I think, just for under a tenner, and I was like, oh, I've got some money left. Oh, I can actually buy the season pass and see how that is. But I really wanted Gwen Stacy because it's Spider-Verse it's Spider-Verse Gwen Stacy as well, so you do her taunts and it does it into the low frame rate from like Spider-Verse and stuff. I'm like, I really want that. That's how they got me. They got me, and now they try to get me with Mr. Meeseeks. It's like they're going into my head and like, what does Dom like? Let's just give what Dom wants. And I'm like, yeah, bring back Goku and Vegeta so I can actually buy them this time instead of just got a Dragon Ball radar.
But Fortnite, man, I can't believe you're such a casual gamer now, Dom.
I know. And apart from that, yeah, obviously still streaming at Patterson gaming Pokemon Yellow. I defeated Greenie again. Got Lieutenant Surge, beat his ass with my favourite Pokemon Hugh. Oh, that's right, Hugh. You don't know that you're a Pokemon in that game, do you? You're a Geodude.
I feel like I've missed a lot. Like, are you
definitely
saying,
should have been a Snorlax. I'm just saying.
Are you saying this head is Geodude? Like, Well, I can actually see it.
Well, see if you hold your hands up like that. Yeah, there we go. There, Hugh.
It's more just like what's inside your head. It's like a rock brain, mate. You got one of those hard brains.
I don't know, man. You said that sentence in a way that sounded like you've got rotten brains.
Yeah, I've almost finished that bottle of wine, so yeah.
Oh no, guys, here it comes.
Maybe the wrong time to chime in there.
What about yourself, Hugh, man? What have you been playing, man?
I'm gonna go through quite a list here because I'm not actually going to like talk a lot about a lot of the games because I haven't put a lot of time. I'm trying to find a game that like I'm.
Because he's got that rock brain.
I'm clicking with, right. I'm going to be controversial at first, right?
Okay.
I'm sure I mentioned this the other 2 times we recorded this podcast, I'm sure. But like, I started playing God of War 2018 again, because obviously the sequel's coming. I'm just not feeling it, man. This is the second time this has happened when I'm playing this game. Just not feeling it. And you know, like it's a game that I was like, oh, this suits me. No, I'm gonna go back and try and play another couple hours, but nah, like.
I assumed that was why you shaved your head. I thought you were going full Kratos, mate.
No, just bald, mate. Just bald.
Oh. Okay.
I'm still playing Persona 4 on my Vita, Dom. Loving it. It's a great game.
Yeah.
It's my relaxing game. Like I'll just sit and play a couple hours of that when I'm, going to bed or whatever. Still trying to get through Pokemon Red as well, like because we're obviously doing the the Pokemon retrospective podcast. I don't even know if Hamish is going to ever actually play one of them again. He's just
like I told you last time, mate. I'm just gonna cheat. You have like a team of 6 missing goes.
No,
in fact, I'm gonna find cheats to have a team of 7 of them. I'll figure out a way.
Oh, fuck that, man. My poor Blastoise. My poor Blastoise. But I'm playing it, but it's slow. Dom, you're playing it the right way. I'm playing it the original way, which is in a Game Boy with a cartridge, and it's slow as molasses.
Oh yeah, it's you.
I don't know why I said that.
Molasses. You're so thankful for most modern Pokemon games now, where you can just hit select to get your bike, or you can heal Pokemon so quickly, or there's all these ease of lives kind of for these Pokemon games that these kids don't know about, Hugh. That if you went backwards like I did, like accidentally went the wrong way, and you're like, fuck, I'm gonna have to trek all the way back and go through all this, but I can hold the spacebar and just I'm back. All good.
It's like the equivalent of like your parents telling you, oh, I used to have to walk 5 miles to school uphill both ways, and it's like that doesn't work.
But
that's your own fault, old man.
I remember complaining about the new Pokemon, saying they're a bit too easy with the experience sharing and stuff, but god damn it, man. I wish I had experience sharing in this fucking game. You know how hard it is to train up a fucking Oddish? Like...
that doesn't die immediately.
Aye. So you have to go, right, put that Pokemon first on the list, and then as soon as he comes out, change him for your starter, because your starter's a fucking boy. He's there to smash folk, and that's it. And then
always gets to hit, and if it's a wrong type or if it's a critical, it can take amp down, and then all you do is doo-doo, 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 and you're like,
I know. Cheers to give me anxiety, Dom.
Yeah. That should be, do you know what, that would be a really good alarm clock. Actually, it's like up there with Sonic's drowning song. That would panic you to get up and turn on that alarm.
Every morning when I wake up, I weigh myself, and I've got like one of those scales that tells you like everything. My
Sorry, I just in my head you were just about to say, do you know, every morning I just wake up screaming. Sorry, I do apologise.
I know, I'm talking about after that. Like
after the morning scream. Sorry.
Yeah, when I finish screaming, I weigh myself, and it's like those wee scales that tell you everything, and it tells you your heart rate out. That would be like 100 if I had that as my alarm clock. Fuck that.
Yeah, it's the game's music, by the way, is my favourite part now.
Oh, yeah.
Every track, I know, like I couldn't tell you, like I couldn't hum the songs if you asked me, but see when they play, I know every single little beat of them, because like I must have played these games like for hundreds of hours, and they're just ingrained in my brain, especially that battle theme. Like I'm not going to do it now.
What does that go like, mate?
Go. I don't know. I'm not. As you'll find out in the next couple of games, I'm not got good rhythm.
Talented.
I don't have good rhythm. I played Trails of Cold Steel on my tablet, streamed from my PS5, because I was trying out the streaming apps. I found out that there's a third-party streaming app made by one man that is better than the Sony one. It's got better input, less input lag, more options. You can actually play in 1080 and not 720, which I think's crazy. Like, why has Sony not got that in their official app that you can play in full HD and not like just 720? But anyway, playing that, I love Trails. I've only put 2 or 3 hours into it though, because I'm playing Persona and I want to play that, complete that and Pokemon before I really put a lot of time in. Trails is a big Japanese series. It's got like 11 games in it. Hamish, fucking hell, man, look a little bit interested in what I'm saying.
No, you know, it was actually, you know, genuinely, I'll let you know what was going through my head there. I was just looking at my bottle of wine. It's almost finished. Then I was just thinking, I should have bought 2.
I thought you were thinking the shoe shop in there.
It was been the most Hamish.
Well, I mean, that's like 50% of my, you know, brain power goes to shoe shopping, obviously.
That's the most Hamish 30 seconds. I'm talking about an RPG. He's looking bored thinking about wine. So I'm going to put Trails on the back burner for a bit and I'll talk about that another time. Wait,
I know what your next one's going to be.
Because I've seen my docket.
No, I've not looked at that, but it's because you were saying rhythm. I can't remember what's called, that Hell Singer game.
Metal Hell Singer, Hamish.
Metal Hell Singer, that's the one.
Now, here's a game that I fucking love and hate, right? Because I don't have rhythm. Like, I suck. I tried to play the drums for a long time and just could not do it. I play a really good guitar, much better than Dom, but
that's a low bar, mate.
Dom, I can play one whole Trivium song, and back in 2008. Probably not now. Oh, look at Dom. He's leaving. Metal Hellsinger is a game that's on Game Pass right now. It's a rhythm-based first-person shooter. Now, Dom, have you tried this?
I have not, no.
That's not a string of words that you normally hear, rhythm-based first-person shooter.
Yeah, mate, I was like, oh, this is going to be exciting because there's songs in it with the singer from Trivium, Matt Heafy, the singer from Arch Enemy, the singer from Lamb of God. But to get the vocal, like, you'll start the game and the track plays, right? No vocals. It's kind of a stripped down version of the song. And to get the better versions of the song, you have to get combos. To get combos, you have to shoot on the beat, right? And I'm so fucking bad at this game. I've heard maybe 10, 15 seconds of vocals in the 4 hours I've played. I was speaking to our friend Rory, and he's completed it, I think, and he said that you have to use, there's a weapon in it, like a wee skull that you can fire infinitely, and then you've got like a shotgun and other types of FPS guns, and you have to use that between killing, you know, demons to keep your combo up.
So like your sword or your shotgun and stuff like that, you need to actually hit something to keep your combo multiplier up. But the wee skull guy, you can just fire his wee fireball thing, whatever it is, anytime. Doesn't matter if you hit something, but as long as you're doing it to the beat, it will keep your multiplier up.
And nice. That was so fucking, like, I couldn't get this pattern in my head. Like, it was too much to try and dodge these demons, because I didn't like the enemies that much. They were just dead cheap, I thought, because they just lunged like a huge distance, and then as you're trying to get out of the way, they lunge again and stuff. Like, it's just kind of annoying, but it's probably because I'm really bad at the game.
I've heard of this game, but I didn't even know it was out yet, so I actually might play this.
It feels odd,
it
mate.
is on Game Pass.
Yeah, because see from what you're describing, it reminds me of sorry Hamish, I'm going to bring this up, Devil May Cry 5, where the more that you get your ranking skill up, the more you hear of their songs, you hear the vocals come in and stuff like that as well. So, but it's not to the rhythm of it, but it's just the more that you are doing well, the more that you hear of the song.
I think it's a 4/4 beat. I'm not musically talented, so I'm not sure, but like, it's really hard.
Sorry, you did play a Trivium songs. It's okay, mate.
But that was in like some crazy tempo. But the way they want you to do it is to shoot in the beat. But see, when I'm playing, it wants you to play it like Doom. It feels like Doom, like the 2016 game.
Yeah, it looks like Doom. Yeah.
But in Doom 2016, you're just fucking jumping and firing, and like there's no real rhythm to it. Like a lot of the time,
it's chaos.
So I'm trying to play it like Doom and try to be rhythmic, and you just can't. You just have to concentrate on this beat, which I think takes away from the rest of the game. Like I honestly think that part of the game ruins the rest of the game for me, because I then can't look at the level, I can't look at the enemies, I can't enjoy the other parts of the gameplay because I'm too worried about hitting this beat constantly. And it's not like Guitar Hero where you're hearing a song and only a song. You're hearing the enemies, you're hearing the surroundings. Sometimes the song comes on and like speeds up and slows down. Like it just frustrated me to the point where I was like, that I'm not having fun playing this anymore. Like, I played it for a good bit. I played it about 4 hours. I got into like the 3rd level of hell, and heard some good 15 seconds of vocals here and there. But like, I wanted to like this game far more than I do. Like, it's got all of the fucking parts of a game that I know I would enjoy, apart from this one stupid gimmick that they've put in it.
And the whole foundation of the game.
Yeah, exactly. And I bet you there's people out there like Rory who fucking love this, who get it, and they can do the loop that you have to do to get enjoyment out of this game. But like, I just didn't. Yeah. And see, because it's on Game Pass, I just went, fuck it. If I'm not enjoying it, get it off. I'll just listen to the fucking songs on Spotify. Like, I don't need.
And how are the songs?
They're really good, mate. I really enjoyed them, especially the ones with the arch enemy singer. I don't know her name, but like
Glossy, Angela Glossy,
Angela Grosso.
It's one of the
arch enemy. Angela Grosso, is it not?
Yeah.
Anyway. I think you're right when you say gimmicky. It is basically all based on this gimmick, and the thing is, if it didn't have that rhythm to it, then it would be a fairly cheap looking and feeling first-person shooter. Because I don't feel like it has a ton going for it. You were talking about your frustrations with the enemies and stuff like that. But it's also it is a massive learning curve to just be thrown right at you from the start. You need to do this, and all the time you're seeing the wee chevrons like drawn into the middle of the screen when to hit it and stuff like that. But you're also looking about these levels that you've never played before, and you need to aim at the enemies and stuff like that.
You say it's one of those games that's like repetitive, but it goes off of replayability. Like, is there difficulties? Like, see, because it's a rhythmic game, that you could put up the levels to make it harder, so you have to hit more buttons and do things like that.
I mean, that is kind of what the game is. Really, it's not like a play it from start to finish to play the story. There obviously is levels and stuff like that, but at the end of it you get a score for like how many hits on target and your time and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then you finish one, like, they don't use this terminology, but like one circle of hell, and then you unlock the next one and stuff like that. But I think you're meant to go back, because at the end of it you get a leaderboard where you are in the rankings of the whole world and stuff like that. It is one of these games where they're expecting people to replay it and replay it and replay it and get a better score.
And beat Rory. That's Hugh's. That's all Hugh wants to do.
No,
beat
Rory can have it, man. I found a better Doom clone on Game Pass anyway. So
what was that, mate?
I would actually finish off Mental Health Singer. I would say people try this game. Like, Dom, you should probably try this game. You probably like it. You probably like it.
Because again, I heard about it. Because again, it's by The Outsiders. That was their kind of first game as well, isn't it? Yeah. So I'm definitely try this. But anyway, sorry.
Yeah. So Proteus, Dom, have you seen this? Hamish, have you seen this game on Game Pass? You played it at all?
I played a few levels of it, yeah. But it seemed too big, which I don't think it is. But it just, when you finish your first level, it goes onto this like map, like a top-down map, like a Super Mario map or like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle map. And I was like, this looks massive, and I just wanted a wee quick game I could finish very quickly. So I've not played loads, but I played a couple of levels.
Seen it, but not downloaded it.
Right, I'll just set out what it is, right? It's a first-person shooter that is a Doom clone with a modern engine, but it has like a Doom look to it, but with better lighting and better effects. But actually, see, because I didn't play a lot of Doom when I was younger, I actually played a lot of Duke Nukem 3D. I actually got way more Duke Nukem 3D from this, but that might just be my bias when it comes to those old school FPSs. The music in this game is also great. It's metal and it's done by the guy that replaced Mick Gordon on Doom Eternal.
Oh, okay.
He did the DLC. His name is, actually, I've got it here, Andrew Hulshult. Don't know if you know him.
No, I don't know him personally.
Big Andy, mate.
Big Andy. He did work on Doom Eternal, Dusk 82, Nightmare Reaper, Quake Champions, Brutal Doom. He did the music for Brutal Doom.
Ooh, Brutal Doom.
As if Doom wasn't fucking brutal enough.
Right, so this game.
But it's no. Do you know what Brutal Doom is, Hamish?
No. I was
So
just trying to be
Brutal
funny.
Alright, Brutal Doom is like, see the original Doom game, mastered, like with added music and added graphical things. So it's like just it's just a fun version of the original Doom game. But with,
alright, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt there.
No, it's fine, mate. It looks really fucking good. Like it's got that like really good 90s pixelated look, but with cool lighting effects. And I haven't seen it, but there is different ways you can change it. You can make it even more retro, or you can make it even more kind of modern. But I haven't changed any of the settings yet. I've only played like 3 or 4 levels, and to be honest, I've loved it. What I'm reading about is that they got the level designer from the Doom modding community, like a big one from the Doom modding community, come in to start designing games, because I don't know. Because it says that the game's released, but mine still says game preview. But after you've beat a level, you get to rate it. Is this level good, bad, or okay? And different stuff like that. Like, it still feels like a game still in development in a lot of the menus, if you know what I mean. But it says that the game's fully
I'm
released.
sure mine still says in development.
Yeah.
Or, well, like game preview.
But mate, it's really addictive. It's got a really cool. Like, this is what I was hoping that Metal Hellsinger was like. Like, it's quick, explosive in a lot of ways. The guns are really good. They feel great. See, the shotgun feels like a fucking great shotgun. It's got a rocket launcher. Like, no, you know what I mean? Like,
the great shotgun, mate.
The shotgun is like the fucking king of the FPS gun, right? Like, the shotgun.
I just want to point out, where, like, you know, mostly a gaming podcast, and your description of this game was, it's good, it's really great, it's a great shotgun. Like,
no, I just try to say, like the shotgun in one of these games is the yardstick, right? See, if you kind of get the shotgun right in like a Duke Nukem or a Doom clone, you're fucked. Like, you just can't do this shit. Get out. Like,
that's a staple.
Aye, so that's the gun we're going to use the most. And see, if you're not enjoying the feedback you're getting from that gun, like the damage you're doing, or like the sound it makes, like, you're going, this probably isn't up there with the games I'm looking for. But
yeah,
I'm really enjoying it. I'm only playing like 1 or 2 levels at a time, but I'm really enjoying it. The effects are really cool. The way that things die is in that sprite form, where they kind of change shape quite suddenly and stuff like that. Like, it just changes into the other sprite images. Like, I mean, it's gave me really cool nostalgia vibes with a fucking awesome dynamic soundtrack. Like,
would you say it's quite charming?
Yeah, that's what it's got going for it. It hits those like those nostalgia buttons with the modern twist. Like, so you're like, oh, that's nice. I've not seen these shadows and this lighting effects in a pixelated room. Oh, wait a minute, the music's just amped up. There's a fucking big group of enemies through this door, like, and like, it all adds to this like vibe you get from the game. Sorry, I'm trying to go.
No, I was gonna say, even with like the change in weapon animation, you notice it. Oh, that's like a modern animation, but they do have the kind of pixelated thing, and it really is the best of both worlds. You know, the hits those nostalgia buttons, as Hugh was saying, but it runs a lot better, and it just has a much more polished feel because it is modern technology.
Yeah, I'm super enjoying. I'm trying not to play too much of it, to be honest, because I'm trying to not get sick of it, because that's what happens with me in fucking Game Pass games. For some reason, I just kind of get annoyed with them and delete them. But I'm gonna keep this one on and try and beat it. Try and get most of the achievements. It's genuinely okay, guys.
Hey, there it is.
Mate, people that listen to our last podcast aren't going to know that. They're not going to know that's an in-joke. So you'll need to go back and listen to our whole back catalogue and then discount the first 20, 30 for being shite.
Listen to all 79 episodes, please.
79 episodes in nearly 4 years. We fucking suck at consistency.
We're like a fine wine, aren't we?
Yeah.
What were we saying earlier on? It's quality, not quantity, mate.
Exactly, Hugh.
We kind of get either right. I've got
it's a mixed bag.
I'm going to run through this last couple really quickly because I don't have a lot to say. Fuga is another Game Pass game by the guys that did the Naruto games, and it's CyberConnect 2. I was trying to remember the fucking names. Really cool anime type game, tactics, kind of RPG type thing. Don't have a lot to say about it yet. Deathloop. God, that game's making me want to just fucking delete it. I'm going to give it another shot. Everyone tells me this game's really fucking good, and Dishonored actually. Everyone tells me Dishonored's great, but I can just never quite get over that hump.
Xbox, I'm still on my Xbox. I'm still holding out hope for it, but I've got some time off next week. I'm going to really try to play through it because I think there's something there. There is something, but no, I'm in the same boat as you, man. I think it's a slow start. It's a really slow start.
Do you know what it feels like? It feels like a bad BioShock game.
Yeah.
I love BioShock, and I was looking for that sort of fucking feedback, like that aesthetic, because it's got a really cool aesthetic, that kind of 70s vibe with the kind of House of the Future, the kind of space chairs and all that kind of shit that you got in the 70s. It looks cool. It sounds cool. The voice acting's funny and stuff. It's the gameplay loop. I think I explained this to you before. I'm not a stealth guy. When I play Metal Gear Solid, man, Snake is he's getting chased constantly.
You're always running.
Constantly. I'm just fuck, I'm gonna shoot everyone. And this game is no. Find a way in the window, and I'm no, but there's just one guy in front of the door. I'll just kill him. I've got a gun.
Shoot him dead.
So I'll give it another go, and we'll try and talk about it another time. Tekken 7. Dom.
Sorry, just to add something on there. I really enjoyed Dishonored. I played it a few times, because you can choose to kill everyone or do the passive mode or whatever they call it. And even then, with Deathloop, I'm not that into it. So, this is coming from someone that liked Dishonored. Deathloop's not amazing, to be honest. If I was going to recommend you play one or the other, it would be Dishonored.
Alright, okay. Dishonored's in my large backlog of games, but
that again, you do need to be stealthy for a lot of it, or at least the game's a hell of a lot easier being stealthy. So you might not like that anyway, but out of the two, that's the better game in my opinion.
I think it's hard to be stealthy in first person. It's just difficult. But Deathloop, hopefully we can come back to it some other time with some better opinions. But Dom, I played Tekken 7 on my Xbox, and
we're going to look back to it. Sorry, I had to get in there. We're going to look back to it.
You almost see him fucking throw a wee cigarette there, trying to get back in.
What?
Tekken 7, mate. Actually, do you know why I started playing Tekken 7? Because I beat you.
It was on sale
at Tekken 3.
When we were out at the NQ64 in Glasgow.
I fucking like these games. I kind of forgot about it.
I thought it was for all the women that you can customise into tiny bikinis.
It's just Hamish. Sinead might listen to this podcast.
Sure she will.
For the first time ever.
Why do women hate us?
Tekken 7.
Smaller brains, mate.
Oh, don't hate
They don't get.
Come on, let's just just drown him out, Dom. Drown him out.
Man, we're not gonna get in trouble for your terrible take on women, Hamish.
Right.
Anyway, sorry.
Anyway, I think I told you this before, right? I got Tekken 7. I was excited to play it. I'd seen the Kazuya Heihachi fight at Rory's.
Yeah.
On a PlayStation 4. This looks fucking great. I'm gonna get this game, but I'll get it on the Xbox One because I'm an Xbox guy first. This game looks fucking awful on an Xbox. On my Series X, right? Because I had to Google it because I actually Googled like, why does Tekken 7 look so fucking bad on my Xbox? Almost exact words. And there was a big Reddit thread about it. It came out on the original Xbox One, so the game is somewhere between 700 and 900p. It never got a 1X update. It never got a Series update, but it did get a PS4 Pro update. So just fucking move that update over.
So do you know the reason why you only got the PlayStation update?
No.
Because of the esports and competitions there as well. Everyone was playing Street Fighter on PlayStations because PlayStation had exclusivity for Street Fighter 5, so everyone was playing Tekken on PlayStation.
That's fucking so bad, mate, because it's distractingly bad looking. Like,
well, you also got to remember that this game had already been upscaled from the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, because that's what it was originally made for before they went, oh, we'll delay it and then we'll just make it for the next gen. So it's still working on like a previous build, this Tekken 7. So it's working on basically like Tekken 6, 6.5 basically, I'd say. But then with all the DLC characters, with like your boy Noctis and Akuma and all that coming in, it is unfortunate. And there was plans, supposedly there was plans that was going to come to the Xbox, but they kind of scrapped it quite early. I don't know why, because I do like my fighting games. I like the fighting game news. I watch a lot of like Evo stuff, like when it's on, like. But yeah, that was it. A lot of people had to reluctantly buy PlayStations, even though they were Xbox fans, to keep up the competitive scene for it. It was a bit of a shit show.
That's shitty. Because I really wanted, and I actually played it for a bit, and then I put it down because I was like, this is annoying me. This looks so bad. Like, I was playing Tekken 3 on my PS5, and I felt that game, for its time, looks better. Not like graphically, but it looks better for what it is, if you know what I mean. As a PlayStation 1 game, I was like, oh, this looks like a great PlayStation 1 game, and Tekken 7 looks like the worst ever, or the best ever Xbox 360 game.
Yeah.
It just annoyed the life out of me, so I just kind of turned it off in sadness, to be honest, and real sadness. So that's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10th game I've tried and not really stuck with in the last couple weeks. We did play the Modern Warfare 2 beta, but there's no real point in going over that now because it's weeks ago. But we enjoyed it, so we bought the game. I don't know if you did, Dom. You didn't, did you?
I'm not allowed to buy the game.
Because we can't.
The doctor said that I get roid rage. So.
But man, we need someone to hold up the bottom of the table, and he was just sick of doing it.
Hey.
He's always saying that because Jason's not here to defend himself.
Only every 4 out of 5 games, maybe, and then I have a fucking scorcher of a game. I do amazing, and I'm like, come on, fuck, guys, what's going on here?
Up on that pedestal, you're saying.
Then I'm knocked right back off that motherfucker very quickly.
Oh,
but I think I'll do some. I'll put it out here, Dom. I'll do some streaming of that.
I look forward to seeing it. Next year.
I was no. Seeing as I am I'm teetotal right now, I've got a lot of free time, so I'm gonna try.
How's that been going as well? If we're going to get real, how's that been going?
Shit.
I've lost my best pal.
I mean, I believe in balance. You know, like when my friend Hunter said he was going vegetarian, I just ate twice as many steaks because I want, the world to be balanced and all that. So I've had to drink twice as much as, now that Hugh's off of it.
Yeah. Well, hold on. See, with like that, was that not from an episode of Friends?
That's where he gets most of his jokes.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That Hunter. Wait, I think no. Wait, hold on. That was Phoebe. Phoebe was eating meat. That was it. Joey gave up meat, so she ate as many cows as she wanted to.
Oh yeah. Well, no. I mean, that's genuinely, honestly true. I ate more meat because Hunter wasn't, and I was like, "See, you're not making a difference, Hunter."
Was that the reason he went vegan? It wasn't. I want to bet my health. You're just like, no, I'm just going to go vegan.
He watched the documentary and he was like, "Oh, it's crazy what they do to these animals." Delicious animals.
You just beat me to it. These delicious animals.
Exactly.
Like, I don't know if Hamish can afford to drink twice as much because that, like, it's already way past the point of control. Like,
oh no, the thing is, like, see with the like, if you had to drink twice as much, it would need to start that as like a part-time job.
Sorry guys, it's my 10 o'clock bottle. Like,
that's why it's taken so long to record this to record this podcast.
Sorry, that was mean, man. I'm so sorry.
Most of the time when I say I'm working, I mean I'm working on destroying my liver.
I'm working on this bottle.
Put it this way, guys, right? I'm off it because of medication reasons, right? So I can't drink. I just generally can't. So see, when you just can't, you don't really feel like, like, and also I don't feel like I'm missing out by not drinking anymore. So, like, we were drinking. I would, like, see, because of COVID, and then our hobbies are all indoor hobbies. Like, I'm always like, I could get a wee drink with this, and it becomes like a habit. See, when we were playing Halo Infinite, I was drinking every time because I was just like, my body is used to me seeing Master Chief and feeling like I need a beer. Like, it's going, it's like a trigger, like Master Chief, beer.
But I mean, the fact that you were drinking every time we played Halo does explain your KD ratio, mate.
I was always still better than you.
Yeah, but I was always twice as drunk as you were.
That's why our teams are so bad.
Definitely some way to mathematically figure out who was better via like units of alcohol against kills.
So, blood work.
I'm going to use that free time to try and do stuff for the podcast. I'm going to put it out there so people can actually call me on it. Like,
do you know what? If people won't, I will.
Right, I know you do it every time. Every time we fucking start doing, when are you going to stream? Like, fucking shut up. I also need to.
Well, not now.
I might take the leap next month and get a new processor and new motherboard for my PC so that I can't go, oh well, it's my 10-year-old fucking PC that's causing me to hold back. But no, we'll discuss that privately, guys. We don't need to tell the people listening all about our inner workings.
You fucking said it. You brought it up.
Aye, then I regretted it, obviously.
So it's your guys' fault.
That's all I've been playing so far, right? So we're probably going to move on now because I don't want to get dragged for not streaming anymore. I kind of want to talk about Chainsaw Man, guys.
Okay.
It's the fucking best thing I've ever seen. I'm just gonna put it out there. I've never felt this good.
Oh, have I not got my camera on? Hold on.
See, between the Queen dying and Chainsaw Man coming out, this has been the best couple of weeks ever.
Fuck's sake.
Nah, Chainsaw Man.
Chainsaw Man killer.
Fuck! Oh, mate, I'd hope so.
No, old Lizzie seen it and was like, "This is the best anime I've ever seen. Might as well die."
I can die happy now. I've seen Chainsaw Man.
I've seen Chainsaw Man.
Sinead watched it with me because she was like, "Right, I've listened to you talk about it enough. I'm going to watch it with you." And like, the first episode is so fucking violent. She was like, "What the fuck is going on?" Yeah. I was like, "No, Sinead, don't worry. Things will get better for the main character." I lied. Like things get kind of worse. Denji,
sounds like Berserk.
No, it's not. Berserk's like takes itself very seriously. This is not. The guy that wrote it, Tatsuki Fujimoto, he kind of takes a lot of the stuff that's in other manga and anime and like takes the piss out of it a little bit. Like, all the very serious things that these guys are fighting for, and like Denji really just wants to touch some boobs. Like that's
Don't we all?
no, but like,
amen,
like,
brother.
I know, but like he's got a really shit life, and like so his dreams aren't as big.
Amen,
as,
brother.
Exactly.
Just like, oh my god, I'm relating to this way too much.
Like in other animes, guys are like trying to fight God and shit like that, right? Because they've got shit lives. This guy's just like man, I just want to get some titty. Like that's all I want. Like you literally like
Give a brother some titty.
In the second episode, he's meant to kill this like demon, right? And he kills it in a certain way that makes his boss mad. So the boss is like, why the fuck did you do it like that? He's like, oh, I don't want to get blood on the dirty magazines. Like because there's dirty magazines on the floor. And I was like, those jokes are weird, like, but also fucking amazing. Like you need to watch it. The visuals in it are film like. They've definitely went all out on this. The shadows and the lighting and the CGI and all that are like, it's like watching a Shinkai film, like Your Name or something like that. It's crazy. It's got crazy hype, like crazy hype. It's probably the biggest anime to come out of Japan in like 10 years or something. Like it's crazy. Hamish is looking as bored as when I was talking about the RPGs earlier.
It's just whenever you talk, mate.
Because it kind of reminds me, like what you're saying there, like Devilman, the remake that they put on Netflix. Because a lot of people like really like that, like the remake of Devilman.
I loved that. I also got my wee sister to watch it, and she's not a weeb, and she loved it as well because it's a fucking ridiculous. That story goes downhill fast. See, like there's 10 episodes in that series, Hamish, right? And the first 5, you're like, oh, this is lovely wee story about this guy who's like a superhero. Then the last 5 episodes are depression.
Yeah,
like
see
honest
that meme
to
where
God.
you had, when you had that meme of Mr. Incredible, where it's him smiling and then it suddenly turns to the pure grim face, and then there's one that just gets even more grim and grim. See the last one they could possibly do it is like that.
That
You're
last,
like, whoa.
the last episode, absolutely, like just like I had to like turn it off and just sit for a bit. I was just like, I don't know if I have any feelings left. Like,
I remember sitting with my brother Kev, and we were like, what was that? Because he watched the original 80s version of it, and he says, it was grim, but it wasn't like, oh my god, like, this is fucked up. And then I can remember my work colleague, I got her, I was asking her about it, because like, she loves anime, but her man doesn't. Oh.
Guys, breaking news.
Oh, Silent Hill, yeah.
Silent Hill 2 remake.
We're not in the news section, mate. God's
I know.
sake.
It came up on my phone and I just wanted to ruin Dom's flow.
Thank you very much, Hugh. You successfully ruined my flow. No, I'll never be a rap artist.
You know, all I'm getting from these animes is they need to figure out a better naming system.
Devilman,
Devilman, Chainsaw Man. It's like, this guy's got chainsaws for hands. Like Chainsaw Man. This guy's. I don't know.
Hold on, Mr. Stan Lee here with Spider-Man. Like, oh, this man's a spy.
That's different, mate. There's a hyphen in there.
Batman.
That Batman wasn't Stan Lee. That's DC, mate. God's sake.
Hamish, I'm gonna like if you got free time this week, you know, you can come over. You can watch
mate,
it.
I'm working solid, and then I'm away on holidays.
Well, you can just download it, mate, onto your phone and watch it on a plane.
Or I could just not watch it.
No, I'm going to get you to watch it. I'm gonna trick you into watching it. So you're gonna come up to the house. I'll be like, Hamish, you want all my alcohol I'm not drinking? I need to get rid of it. So
Hamish suddenly just disappears right now, and he's just in frame on the camera.
It's like the James Wood thing.
That?
It's the James Wood thing. It's just shots. Ooh, a piece of candy. Ooh.
Ooh, Jack Daniels. Ooh, Jack Daniels.
No, I do want you to watch it because I want to hear like someone's opinion who isn't into anime. Like, because we were going to do the Cyberpunk one where we both watched Edge Runners, and I loved it. It was amazing, and you also thought it was really good, didn't you?
I've not seen it yet.
What?
Although
you had seen it.
No, not yet. The Edge Runners update for Cyberpunk game is really good, though.
No one cares about
that.
No, everyone actually cares about the game now because the anime was so fucking good. Like,
no, the game was good as well. But
I was thinking of watching the anime, so the anime is actually good. I was a bit concerned because I watched a trailer, but like on the train, where like the lassie was like hacking folk, and I was like, I don't know about this, but I have heard a few people say it's good.
Mate, it's really fucking good. Actually, it's actually one of the best crossover like pieces of media. Like Witcher's really good, right? But this is better. Like this is genuinely better.
That's better than genuinely okay, Hamish.
That's high praise.
But this can also stand on its own. See if this came out without a Cyberpunk game, this would still be really fucking good. Like you don't really need to know it. I've never played the game. Well, that's a lie. I played like 10 minutes of the game, but like, and then I got my refund off PlayStation. But like, yeah, you could watch this with no fucking knowledge, love it, and then go, fuck, I really want, like, because I went out of it going, I should probably play Cyberpunk now.
Yeah, we will watch it and then we'll have a proper discussion about it or a podcast about it. Maybe.
Weeb versus non-weeb. We'll have a cool wee like classical intro. Like,
I'll let you know who wins, mate. Is the non-weeb, because the weeb is gonna run at me with their arms behind their back like Naruto or whoever the fuck does that.
Oh shit!
And then they're just gonna get punched in the face.
What kind of casual ass weeb jink I am. Like Naruto, mate. I'll put chainsaws in my hands and fuck you up.
But if they're still behind you, mate, they're not going to do it. If they're still doing that run.
But there's also a chainsaw out my face too.
Well, that's a marked improvement, mate.
Do we want it? Like, have you watched House of the Dragon yet?
No.
I am not going to be watching it. Sorry, man.
You're not going to watch it at all?
No.
Mate, no. It's honestly some of the best TV I've ever seen.
Yeah,
like, literally the best, like fucking best show.
Really?
Yes. Honest to God.
I will watch it, so like we will talk about that in the future.
Mate, the hype week to week between, because the thing is, right, people know how this story goes, right, because it's in a book, like, and they're going to stick to that book pretty strictly. Now they've kind of learned a lesson.
You're fucking better.
Right, so the things are coming up, even though I know what's coming up, I'm excited to see it. I'm excited for them to like show me these actors who are like fucking, all of them are actually smashing these roles. I want to see them do these things that I know that are going to happen. Like, because I know what's going to happen next week on episode 10. It's going to fucking destroy me, but I know what's going to happen, and I can't wait. The week to week wait causes so much like anticipation and chat and just fucking like memes, and like everything just builds until that next episode comes out. It's honestly, I've not felt that in a long time.
Yeah, and with that, that you're okay with it, you just visually are you going to be happy visually seeing what has been written down? Because again, in your head, is it going to be like, oh, it's going to be amazing, and then have they been knocking it out of the park?
Yeah,
with,
mate.
Like, adaptation with it, because I know originally with like the Game of Thrones, they had a bit of like leniency with some of the things they could get away with, but from what I was told, House of Dragons like it's just a big pile of incest.
Aye, quite a lot of that, mate. And
so I was like, so it's Game of Thrones then?
Like, and to be honest, like, you're kind of rooting for it a lot of the time, like, and it feels
rooting for incest.
You're like, oh, this niece better get with her uncle, man, at some point, because her uncle's a badass, and like, and then you think about what you're thinking, and you're like, that's not right. Why am I?
I've taken some pretty strong stances on this podcast over the last 3 years, but I don't think I've ever been as far as to say I was rooting for incest.
I know, like, it's so fucking strange.
Hamish said to me once off the podcast that incest was wincest, so
he's been watching.
It rhymes. It's got to be true, mate.
Lannisters and the Targaryens, mate. But that's
Lannisters
the thing.
Are great, mate. Lannisters are best.
Yeah, well, didn't they? Like,
Lannisters or Bannisters?
They didn't win though, did they, Hamish?
You're just raging that they didn't have enough incest, apparently, mate.
I know.
Have you seen fucking Lena Headey and...
Have you seen his eyebrows?
Nicola Waldo Costa?
That's only one couple, mate. You know, that's not enough for you, apparently.
That's all you need. Matt Smith and fucking Emma Darcy, or Darcy? Emma Darcy? Whatever her name is.
Darcy.
She, or they are just... the chemistry's there, and like the characters work really well together. That's what makes it weird, because you're like, oh, I hope they get together. Oh fuck, why am I thinking that? Oh, because they've written it in such a way and they've acted it in such a way where you're like, oh, I'm rooting for this. Fuck, how am I rooting for this? But like,
Matt Smith's a great actor as well. He's really good.
Mate, he is. He's so fucking good at this role of being the wee arsehole prince. Like, and he's not. He gets the show's got some pretty big time jumps between episodes, like 10 years and stuff like that. Did you kind of get to? You see like the main points of this story before it gets to the main part of the story, which is a Dance of the Dragons. But like, Matt Smith is probably stealing the show, but Paddy Considine as King Viserys is also just like, even George R.R. Martin said that he's done a better job than what's in the books. He's created this like tragic character, whereas in the books he was kind of just like a joke. And like, I don't know if you know,
Viserys die pretty quickly though.
Not quickly.
Yeah.
Not quickly.
So with this as well, is this going to be an ongoing series? This is not going to be like 10 series long now. This is going to be like a one and done essentially.
Four seasons, I think they said. 4 seasons to tell the story. Tom, what is wrong? Four seasons is a very it's a very reasonable amount of seasons.
That's fairly conservative. As long as they have an outline for the 4.
Yeah, that's my concern. And then you know what the Americans like to do when it gets near the end of said season.
But I don't think that'll happen.
They're going to be like 4 seasons and 6 movies.
No, because they've got so much other stories to tell in the Song of Ice and Fire universe. They've got the Aegon's Conquest. They've got they're going to do Jon Snow. There's loads of other stories that he's wrote. Plus, I think he's got more control, or at least he's got an agreement that they're not going to deviate now from the plan, because they've seen how bad it backfired on them with Game of Thrones. So now they're going, right, we can have 4 seasons of this, we can have a couple of seasons of Jon Snow, we can have a couple of seasons of Aegon the Conqueror. Like, they don't have to milk this one, because there's so much to milk other places.
Are you happy? Are you happy that this is successful? Because again, I even said no one really talks about Game of Thrones anymore. I think maybe a couple of months ago that you were saying, oh, they're building up all this stuff, and I was like, well, no one positively talks about Game of Thrones, but this seems to have, restarted that fire, that Game of Thrones-ness that people just wouldn't shut up about, like Breaking Bad was like maybe 10 years ago now. But at least it seems like it's good and it's going some places. But I'm going to wait until it's finished again. I don't trust them. I don't want my heart broken. That's it. I don't want to be getting invested into a show that could potentially change because people were like, no, it needs to go this way, or we need to stop that from happening so we can get another season, or we can extend it, or make more money.
The difference here is this story's finished. Like, this story, you're not waiting on more books to come out for the end of this story. This story is complete. So
no one's scrambling to like, oh fuck, we need to write another series by the end of next summer or whatever.
There's less characters in this than there is in Game of Thrones, obviously, and the fact that I think people forget how good the first 2/3 of Game of Thrones is. It's some of the best like TV ever made. Like season 1, 2, 3, 4, even 5 and 6, I think aren't as good as the first 4 seasons. But like, they're still way above average.
Yeah, I mean, Dom, you're saying that people don't talk about Game of Thrones and stuff like that, but as people are very fleeting in their interests and stuff like that. But at the time, it was a massive global phenomenon. Almost everyone fucking loved it. And yeah, Hugh, you're right. If people were to look back and if you were to rank like, some of the best TV shows ever, then Game of Thrones is certainly in the conversation. Mm-hmm. Obviously, it didn't end very well, but there's plenty of good shows that didn't end well that are still regarded as classic TV.
Sopranos, Dexter, fucking
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. I see.
Sorry,
but like, I can still enjoy the first 4 or 5 seasons of Sopranos without caring about that last episode. Like, and I know it's not the same in a big fantasy story where things are like constantly like going towards an endpoint. Like, everyone wants to see that endpoint. But like, mate, I can tell you the first 9 episodes have been like gripping, like truly like an event. Like, see when it comes out on a Sunday night, well, I get it on the Monday night, obviously, but like I get the popcorn, a couple of cans of juice, like turn the lights off.
It's an event.
Just go to town on yourself.
Aye, wank myself silly about Matt Smith after
Get
it.
the popcorn, get the butter, not for the popcorn.
Aye, it's just
the popcorn's not microwaved yet. Just give it a second for that heat.
Plenty of friction.
Do you know what I would say to you? I'd try and say to you, like, try and catch up on it this week before the final one. It's 9 hours of telly though, so it might be difficult. But like,
Hugh, you know, just because it's all out doesn't mean people need to binge it. You can watch an episode or something and then give it a few days.
No, I know, but like for that last episode, which is going to have quite a big like event happening in it.
So you get that last episode hype and then you're not getting spoiled.
Yeah, well, that's the good thing about watching it week to week as well. Like, there's no cunt that watches it in one fucking go and then sticks it all on Twitter. Stranger Things, bastards. Right, okay, we'll talk more about that when you actually catch up with it and watch it. Dom, you better fucking... I'll message Angie and be like, look, staple him onto the fucking couch and make him watch this. I could have said tie you onto the couch or just put you on the couch, but I said staple because it sounds peaceful.
Staple was a weird one, but...
Yeah, staple, like, you know, like I could just, like, you know, take off my clothes and just be like...
It's because you've got all the fucking strength of a bit of paper.
That's true.
I just thought you meant you were, like, stapling his nutsack on, so he wouldn't want to pull off of it, you know?
Yeah, oh man, see if you do that. No, I can't have that.
Unless he's into that.
I know, it sounded like you were like, oh, can't have that.
Oh, no, no, don't do that.
Trust me, you don't want to do that.
Hamish is like, oh, staple gun.
Right, I think I'm probably going to get a different reaction with this show. Rings of Power. Now, I watched...
Did you want to cash some?
The Lord of the Rings Amazon show, mate.
I'm just joking.
I watched all 8 episodes of this, right, week to week as well, with House of the Dragon, and they're completely opposite but almost the same fantasy. Like, written by 2 great authors. But Rings of Power is almost like that child-friendly, family-friendly story that you love Lord of the Rings for. People get stabbed and cut up, but you never see blood. Whereas House of the Dragon is that maybe too hyper-realistic, fucking violent. But I love both, mate. I honestly love both for different things. I think Rings of Power is getting shat on for a lot of different reasons. Maybe some of them are justified, but this was a really good show. I had nitpicks with it, obviously. No show is perfect, but this did a really good job of fleshing out something that J.R.R. Tolkien never actually put in any great detail.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I like the first couple episodes I've watched. Me and Andrew were watching Rings of Power, and I mean, I do like the fact that everyone keeps pointing out, going like, "That's Sauron, no, that's Sauron, that's Sauron." It's like all these red herrings and stuff. But I mean, people will always nitpick what they. I think people just like to complain. I mean, Hamish, yourself, you really enjoyed like She-Hulk, and so many people have been going off on like crazy ways of going like, this character shouldn't act like this because in the comics in the 90s this is the way that they acted like that.
Yeah.
And I don't like the fourth wall breaking. No one should do fourth wall breaking it. And then I just turn around and look behind me and see Deadpool 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And go, but Fox have done that, you know, like
people are mad at Marvel right now, so
yeah, people are just mad. People are just they're just angry. They just want to take their frustrations out and stuff. Like they're not getting I don't know what they're not getting. They're not getting the hugs they deserve. They're not getting laid. That's it. They all just need to get laid. They all need to just do the deed and go to sleep. That's it.
The thing is though, like see the people that complain about any of these shows, they're people that have made their minds up before the first episode even airs. This is how I want it to be. And you know, like for example, things like She-Hulk breaking the fourth wall, she did that way before Deadpool ever did. And things like Game of Thrones and stuff like that. Fair enough, a lot of it was, you know, from George R.R. Martin's actual books. But then, I think it was actually George R.R. Martin himself said about his books not going the way that some people wanted them to was. This is my story. This is how I am telling it. This is what happens in my story. You don't get to decide this isn't verbatim, obviously, but basically saying, I'm laying out this story. If you want to read it, fine. But it's not the TV shows, movies, anything. It's not a democracy. It's not like vote for the way you want it to go. That's not how it works. This is my story. I'm telling you what happens in my imagination or whatever. Now, if you don't like it, well, okay, fair enough. You don't like it, but it's like I didn't really know what She-Hulk was going to be. I've read bits and pieces of She-Hulk, but I was never like a massive fan of the comics or anything like that. Not because I didn't like them, I just never read them much. So I didn't really know what I was going into. But all the people that complain, they're just like, I want it to be this way. Whereas I was more like, I'll see what this is. And I just enjoy it for what it is. It's like a comedy lawyer show.
Yeah.
Single female lawyer.
Single female lawyer, exactly, yeah.
I think, see where it Rings of Power, because Marvel and Lord of the Rings has such large fan bases, the kind of annoying parts of those fan bases become overwhelming. Even though they might be way tiny minorities, to become overwhelmingly loud. Because, like, me being a Tolkien fan, right, read all the books, loved them, watched the films, loved them. See, if, like, when they announced this show, I was like, I'll give it a watch. It doesn't affect my enjoyment of the rest of Tolkien. Like, and if it was really bad, I'd be like, it was pretty bad. But then I'd go on with my fucking day. But I enjoyed it, and I was like, that was pretty good. I'm glad they did that. Now, then you go on with your day. I think people put too much emphasis on this isn't the way it's meant to be. Tolkien never wrote that this character was here at this time, and it's like, yeah, but Tolkien died like 70 years ago. Like, his son's in charge of his estate and said that, like, yeah, that's cool, make changes as you please, like, because no one's ever, like, done stories about this time before, so we can kind of just have creative license to do some things. And
it's like someone covering a song. It's obviously not going to sound exactly like the original, otherwise what the fuck is the point in covering it? This is my interpretation of it. This is how I want to do it. And an argument that I hate, I mean, like, the argument is fine and it's sound when people say, going back to She-Hulk, like, Marvel, there's so much Marvel stuff. I'm fed up with Marvel stuff. Don't watch it then. If you're fed up with Marvel, either stop watching it completely or give yourself a wee Marvel detox. Stop watching it for a while and then go back to it. But
that's what I'm doing.
Say like, but to say like, oh my god, there's so much Marvel stuff. I'm fed up with it, and then watch the new stuff and be like, that was shit. And it's like, why are you watching it if you're fed up with watching it?
Yeah,
that was your choice. No one's forcing you to watch it. This isn't fucking A Clockwork Orange. You're not strapped to a fucking chair with your eyelids pried open watching something. Like, it's just people that like to fucking moan.
Yeah, just enjoy the things you enjoy, and if you don't enjoy something, you can go, I didn't enjoy that, I hope they do it better next time. I'm just not going to buy or watch until I figure out if it's good or not.
But do you think, see, like as you were saying there, the people that don't, the haters, the people that are very much against this, they're the loudest, but I agree to that extent, but to the point where, you just go into Twitter and you'll see hate mobs against so-and-so actor or actress, and then you look at some of the things, it's one tweet from some fucking nobody going, I disagree with this. And the reason why that it's trending in that is so people can click it.
Yeah, the clickbait stuff. Aye.
And it's so frustrating seeing that because they won't judge it on that merit. They'll see a headline and go, it must be shit. It must be terrible. It must be that. It's like, it's not fair.
Aye.
I mean, like, the funny thing that I see is, like, see when you put up on our TikTok, Hamish, the community She-Hulk bit where she was twerking and it's like, I hope this doesn't awaken anything in me.
Yeah.
I was like, that looks like a funny scene. That looks great. And then I had people going, can you believe that they had She-Hulk doing a dance, shaking her? This is disgusting. What would the kids think? And I'm like, what? What?
I mean, putting aside the fact that that was like an after credits bit, which and basically all Marvel films, the wee after credit bit's always been like, a
joke, a bit of crack,
a wee throwaway joke. Don't take it seriously. But again, you can break it into two parts there. You do get the people that just say things to get clicks and stuff like that, and you also like get people who. This is maybe too harsh, but they're just complete fucking losers who have no interaction whatsoever in their life, so they troll and stuff like that, so that people talk to them and reply to them, and it's like, oh, yeah, you're both fucking losers, and then the people
you're a loser too. Hey, let's go.
Yeah, but the people that like also just read headlines and then go, oh yeah, they're right, and it's like, why are they right? Just because they wrote one headline? You're also a fucking loser. Like, make your own fucking opinions. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Good times.
I know this. What a positive conversation about Rings of Power. I would tell you to watch it. I'm not sure that you would enjoy it as much as I do. I love Lord of the Rings. I think you do as well, Tom. Don't you? You're quite into.
I love Lord of the Rings.
I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Me and Angie watched the extended editions recently, and like she fucking loves Lord of the Rings. She fucking loves that shit.
That's a good 2 weeks there, Dom, innit?
2 weeks? I think we finished it in about a week with like 5. It was a movie a night, and then we got to the last part with Return of the King, and we're like, oh, we really should go to bed. For Frodo, we continued.
Frodo didn't go to bed when he had to.
A fucking boy. Do you know what that's just reminded me of? That fucking game Gollum hasn't surfaced in a while.
Oh, I thought they were talking it was going to be one of the PlayStation showcases and stuff. Maybe I just imagined it.
I'm sure it was announced.
Maybe I just wanted to see Gollum. Yeah.
I'm telling you, lads, I never really wanted to play as Gollum.
That's because you are Gollum, so.
How about fuck you, Dom? Get him at
people play games for escapism, you know. You just be like, oh shit, this is me at midnight when I crawl through to the fridge to see how much cheese is in there.
I'm hoping when I click.
What's that in your pockets?
I'm hoping when I click disable video, it just disables you.
Jesus, that's harsh.
Hugh, you look like you've already got your disabled video on, or do you always just look like that?
No, it's just frozen, mate. It's frozen like this.
Have you seen that PlayStation disc that turns around and says, "For real horror, turn the disc around"? You turn it around and it's just a reflection of yourself. I was like, that's great advertising.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Have you watched anything, Dom, Hamish? Is there anything you want to talk about?
Which one are you asking us? You need to pick a person, God's sake.
Who did I go to first with games? I went to Hamish. So Dom, what you watched?
Okay,
make it
snappy. Okay, quickly. What I've watched. I've watched quite a lot of Disney stuff because of the game that we won't mention that rhymes with Dreamlight Gallery.
You were just going to say the fucking game there.
I was about to say Creamlight, and I went, oh, that sounds lovely.
That's the adult version.
And just give me a weird face now. I'm said that. But we've been watching a lot of like classic Disney movies. Tarzan, with that soundtrack, fucking great. And I was like, there's a fact from that Tarzan movie, and I couldn't remember what it was for the life of me. I'm like, it was the first movie they have 3D in it, and then Angie's like, no, that's Lion King. Fuck, what the fuck was it? And it turns out that I couldn't believe this when I found out about it, that Tarzan, that Disney Tarzan, was the first ever animated version of Tarzan.
Really?
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, and I was like, and I looked up and I was like, yeah, everything else had been a live action movie version. There was not a cartoon. And then the reason why you're going, doesn't make sense, you're thinking of George of the Jungle. That was a cartoon, and that was like basically Tarzan. And I was like, oh wait, actually that's right. But Brendan Fraser actually tried to be the voice of Tarzan in Disney twice before he went for George of the Jungle and got that, which I thought was crazy as well.
That guy just wanted to be a crazy jungle man, didn't he?
He just wanted to be a jungle man. He already played that in like one of those movies years ago. It was like an ice Neanderthal that got was frozen and
I remember that.
Yeah. So I think it was always in him. He wanted to just be a wild man.
Yeah,
Brendan Fraser.
Love that guy, man. Love him.
But yeah, watched Hunchback of Notre Dame or Notre Dame.
It's quite a dark film for Disney. I know they've got like, some fairly dark things, but
how horny was the bad guy in that, by the way?
Mate, there's a scene that he sniffs Esmeralda's hair. And it's like, I think Angie you looked at me, Angie, like, what the fuck? And I'm like, yeah, he went, ew. Yeah, like, ew. And I was like, yep, this is a bit creepy.
He was into Esmeralda.
Oh, he was definitely into Esmeralda. But, like, that visually holds up. It's crazy to see, like, how much the older Disney movies hold up, even with the 3D technology and stuff. And because it's all hand-drawn, like, I think the last movie they've done like that has been, like, Princess and the Frog. And everything else has been Pixar. It's all been, automated, all computer-generated, I think.
I'm trying, like, I know that there was a couple after the, how the good crop of films in the 90s, there was, like, that fucking, the farm one? Fuck, what's it called?
Farm one?
It's so bad. It's like a ranch. Home on a Range?
Oh,
something like that.
Is that the one with the talking cows? I'm sure that was CG'd as well.
No, I think that goes down as... That was going to be their last official hand-on film. Because I think they had, like, a few real fucking...
Bombs.
Shiters. Like, you had Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, Lion King, Hunchback. Pocahontas kind of fucked. Like, I don't think Pocahontas was very good. Like, it was kind of bad. It kind of smoothed over all that fucking racism and the fact that John Smith, like, kidnapped a 12-year-old lassie. But, like...
Oh, don't let Angie hear you say shit about that. She would kick the crap out of you. Saying shit about Pocahontas.
I didn't say it. And he kidnapped her.
He said it.
I'm stating facts here, Dom.
Spitting facts, is that what you're saying?
And then, what's the Treasure Island?
Muppets Treasure Island.
Treasure Island.
Yeah.
No. The one that nearly fucked up Disney's animation studios. Space Treasure Island.
Michael J. Fox.
We suck at this, man.
Yeah, Michael J. Fox. I don't think Treasure Island. Well, I honestly think Princess and the Frog was the last one because that was in recent time.
Most of the time, I'm just sitting here thinking these guys are boring. Now I'm just confused. You guys don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Clearly, he's humming and hawing about Disney films I've never heard of.
Treasure Planet. That's the film.
Treasure Planet.
Oh, and Atlantis as well. You remember Atlantis?
Yeah, I remember that. I think that's maybe what I'm thinking of.
Is that? Can you see that in the camera? Is it too bright?
I can see the light. Yeah, I can remember that.
You remember that?
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, that. Nah, I don't remember that.
I really enjoyed those two, but that kind of fucked them, and that's why they went to more Pixar stuff.
Yeah, and it's been fun just trying to watch like movies that we remember. Like again, you always remember the go-to sequels that were terrible, like Return of Jafar, not being particularly good. Did you know there's a sequel to The Hunchback of Notre Dame?
No.
Yeah, and like we put it on for like, like Angie's like, we'll put it on for 5 minutes, and we heard the intro song, and it was terrible, and then a wee boy showed up, and I was like, I think he's kidnapped this small child. This small child now belongs to him, for Quasimodo, and you're like, no. He's just a little boy.
Just a little boy that Quasimodo hangs out with?
No, it's what's her face and what's his face's kid when they got together at the end of the first movie.
Esmeralda and
Gaston.
No, I was going to say John.
That's Beauty and the Beast, isn't it?
That's beautiful. But man, they would be a power couple. Gaston and Esmeralda. Fucking hell, those kids would have strong jaws.
Do you know what?
Hey, what else have you seen, Dom? Because we are waffling here.
Started watching Modern Family as well.
That's a good show,
mate. Have you seen that before?
No, I've seen like random episodes. So like out of context, you'll see I've seen like Manny be a small child to then being like a grown ass adult, and then the wee baby being just adopted to being like a broody teenager, like a broody teenager like Steph Metal. So I'm like, there's no consistency here, but there's 11 seasons of that.
Yeah.
So me and Angie started that a few nights ago, and like what was it, episode 3 or 4 we're on now. So yeah,
that's a great show, man. Stick with that. That's a brilliant show.
Yep. What about yourself, Hamish? What were you watching? TV wise?
Well, obviously we've talked about She-Hulk. That's finished now. I really quite enjoyed the finale. It was a weird one. It's I mean, I don't want to spoil it in case you guys do watch it, but it's certainly not like any other Marvel show finale that I've ever seen. You know, it's obviously, Dom, you mentioned earlier on the breaking the fourth wall. There's a bit of that in it, but like to extremes. It's not just talking to the camera. You know, it's pretty mental. But we'll maybe talk about that in the future if you guys ever watch it.
Yeah.
Also, I've been trying to get into the spooky season. So another Marvel thing I watched. I don't know if that's a TV movie, so it's only like an hour long. Werewolf by Night.
Oh yeah.
Me and Sinead are going to watch it this weekend. Actually, kind of planned that.
It's pretty cool. I don't know if you know the character Elsa Bloodstone, like a monster hunter lassie. It's basically kind of revolving around her. It's cool. It's black and white until a wee bit at the very end, so it is quite stylish. The CGI in it, one of the characters is CGI, and it's really quite incredible. Like, you can see the facial animations, and it's like you can see all the emotions in their face and stuff like that. It's really well made, but it's also just a good wee. It really does take you back to those kind of like black and white horror movie films. It's got that proper feel to it, you know.
Yeah, someone was saying to me it's quite noir, very much like Sin City sort of vibes. It's like that high resolution, but not comic booky.
Yeah,
yeah, it's quite nice like that.
It's also nice to see it's fairly violent, but because it's black and white, so you don't technically see the red of the blood, so you don't know it's blood. It's not like a high certificate or anything like that, but it doesn't shy away
they're
from,
leaking.
It doesn't shy away from it, but at the same time, it's not like overly gory, but you know what's happening, obviously. And there's very few and far between adult Marvel projects, so that was quite good to see.
Yeah.
But I would recommend it. Like I say, it's only an hour, so something good to watch to get into the Halloween mood.
Yeah, I'm going to do that this weekend. I'm going to try and watch what's that Disney one? Night Before Christmas. Is that a Halloween film or a Christmas film?
See, I was having this debate with someone else. I was like, that's a Christmas film, because it's obviously they're in Halloween Town, but then it's all about learning about Christmas and stuff like that. So I was like, it's a Christmas film, and they were like, no, it's a Halloween film. And then someone else was like, it's both, and I was like, that's too soon in between. That's only a couple of months in between. You can't watch it twice, but it is actually an awesome film. So
yeah, I'd say it's a Halloween film that you can watch at Christmas as well.
What we should do, guys, is get the Nightmare Before Christmas PS2 game that is based off Devil May Cry.
Yeah, that game's amazing.
Are you just saying that because it's kind of like Devil May Cry?
No, well, it's basically Devil May Cry with
it's maybe really fucking good as well. So
yeah. Okay, that does sound alright.
Have you guys watched Hocus Pocus 2?
Nah, I don't.
Yes, I was just about to say I've seen Hocus Pocus 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen it and you're not a fan, or you're not interested?
I watched the first one years ago, didn't like it, so
right.
I didn't watch the second
one. What the fuck is wrong with you, man? The fuck is wrong with you?
Just because you're like Sarah Jessica Parker's in it.
No, I mean the first one is an absolute classic, mate.
Yeah, the first one is great.
First one's a classic. The second one, not as good. That's putting it lightly. It's not great.
I actually really did enjoy it. I think they did really well considering like the limitations that they probably would have had, because they did this movie over COVID as well. The ending was a bit of it was a wet fart, I felt. But everything else, like, see, even like the kid versions of them at the beginning of the movie, I thought they did a really good. I was like, wow, they could actually have like a spin-off with these kids and be like the Sanderson sisters when they were younger.
Yeah, no, the start of it was alright. It just felt like obviously some bits felt a bit flat. I think it was a bit, but the humour was there when the sisters were on the screen. You're like, yeah, more of this, and
kind of, updated some of the jokes. When they were trying to like, well, you don't need to eat kids anymore. Like we've got like this section, this store that you can have all this anti-aging cream and stuff. And so they're just throwing it on their face and stuff. And then these kids come by that, you're the Sandon sisters, it's Halloween. Let's take a selfie, and they try to take a picture. And the filter's on, so that makes them look young. So they're like, "Oh, that's us, hey!" And you're like, "Okay, that was pretty good." The baby filter.
Yeah, no, there's definitely decent moments in it, but I feel like as part of a series of films, like it's as if obviously the first one was a while ago, and it feels like nobody went back because there's a lot of recurring characters, a lot of the same cast. But it just feels like no one remembered what they originally acted like. And I don't know if that's because they were told to act differently or they just didn't remember how they portrayed those characters.
Yeah.
Obviously, like with Sarah Jessica Parker's character, for example, she was quite sexualized in the first one, and she was a little bit like luring boys and stuff like that. And
that's where Hamish is. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, probably. Yeah,
we've said Jessica Parker alone.
I mean, it probably, that's probably something, to that. But she obviously was toned down massively for this film because Disney aren't going to be like, nah, you can't be, talking about how you want boys and stuff like that.
Well, she mentions that a bit.
I know, but I just feel like, I don't know, they kind of missed the mark a wee bit. I wouldn't say never watch it if you're a big fan of the first one, but there's things they could have done better. Yeah. The other thing that I also watched to get in the spooky mood is I've been going back through the old Simpsons Treehouse of Horror episodes. Those are fucking classic, man. They are so good, and I'm starting like way back at the very start of them, and I remember every bit of them because those are just fucking classic episodes, man.
Yeah, they're really good. The classic Treehouses.
First 10 or 15 seasons, the Treehouses are just every year you'd be like, yes, cannot fucking wait for this.
Yeah,
I like the one where Mr. Burns is a vampire and they invite them to the house, and he's like, super fun slide.
Happy fun slide.
I know I shouldn't, but when am I going to be here again?
My favourite joke in that is when they're driving to the Burns' mansion, and they're just like, there's nothing spooky about this. Okay, we all cleaned our necks like Mr. Burns has us to, and then Homer pulls out his rag. It's like, I have, and it's just like black because it's like they washed his neck and whatever. Fucking classic. Oh.
I mean, apart from the fact that it's going back to classics, like some of the best Simpsons era writing, it's also just the fact that they have no restrictions. They can make jokes they wouldn't normally make within the regular seasons. Yeah. I think it's just something special about them. I think they're brilliant. They're really good.
Yeah,
I've not watched all of them. The most recent one I watched was the Homer goes into like the portal behind the bookcase and he turns 3D and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember watching that and being like, oh, that's so crazy. And then at the bit at the end where he's walking through the street and people are actually turning, like live action people are turning to look at him. And I remember being a kid watching that, like, how do they know he's there? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, but it's absolutely classic television, man.
It still holds up that bit as well. Like, it actually still looks, it is like obviously a 3G rendered Homer. I do like the joke that says, man, they must have spent millions just like, if this was a fancy budget, and he sort of stands, looks around, scratches his butt and then burps.
Yeah.
Just like wasting all this money. I'm like, that's classic Simpsons.
Yeah. No, it's definitely, it was brilliant. But that's pretty much all I've seen.
Awesome. So, in this month of October, guys, there's a lot of games coming to Game Pass, right? A lot.
And my birthday.
Well, who knows what's more important now?
I mean, to be fair, like, Dom's birthday is only there for a day, but these Game Pass games will probably be on there for a few months, so...
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, Hugh.
No, it's fine. We'll talk about your birthday after this, because, yeah.
We just did, it's fine.
He's going to have a party. He's going to have a party.
You can let us know how it goes, Dom, because I'm sure we won't get invites.
No, of course not.
So A Plague's Tale Requiem's coming out on Game Pass this month, right? That's the one I've picked out.
It's already out, mate. Sorry, it's out today.
Oh, fucking... Well, it'll be out way, before this even comes
Yeah,
out.
this gets edited.
Aye. But also, the next one, Dom, is coming out in 2 days, and it's Persona 5 Royal.
Yep.
So, Hamish, get on
Already
that,
got it pre-ordered. Yeah, I already got it pre-downloaded. Hamish.
Where's my mute button? Where's my guessing button?
There might be more good games in this list, but I don't know any of them. I'm probably going to have a look. There's one game that's leaving that I really hope you can get to by the October 31st.
Wait! I know it. Fuck, what's it called? It's this like the Skyrim or the Oblivion one in it. The fuck, what's it called? Lost City.
The Forgotten City.
Forgotten City. I forgot it. Sorry.
That's a really really short game, right? It's probably 5 hours, less than that. I think I completed it in less than that, and got nearly every achievement as well. Play this. Honestly, see Saturday, Sunday if you're probably not off at all. But get some time, just at least play it a little bit and see if you're into it, because it's a fucking great game. It was a total surprise for me. Loved it. And if anyone's listening and hasn't tried it, play it before October 31st on Game Pass, or just buy it.
I was genuinely looking at the Game Pass games the other day before I downloaded NBA, and I was like, Forgotten City. Hugh said that was good. I'll need to play that soon. And then the day after, I saw, these are all the games leaving Game Pass, and it was that, and I was like, fuck, because I'm working solid, and then I'm away on holiday the day after, and I was like, I'll need to try and squeeze some of it in at least.
Yeah, mate, it's super super short. You think when you start it, this is gonna be a wee bit long, but they've took a lot of steps to skip time consuming parts, and you'll see that when you play it eventually. But that's there's not a lot of games that I know that are leaving. Bassmaster Fishing 2022 is leaving. Sniper Elite 4, Ring of Pain, Into the Pit. I don't know. I don't know these games. But
all I know is about Into the Pit. I was very excited because it's got a wee chick on the front, and it looked cool from the box art, and I was like, that looks interesting. But then it's a card game, and that's just one of the cards, and I'm like, you baited me in with that wee chick.
You've already got my money.
It looked like a wee crazy
dating sim
horror chick thing. No, I don't mean a chick like a woman, like a broad. I mean like a chick, like a small chicken,
like a broad.
Aye, like a lassie, Yeah. But it looked interesting, and I actually looked at what it was, and I was like, nah, shite, fuck you.
Yeah, so that's all I've got to say. You guys want to add anything to the end of this podcast? Something nice, something bad, hopes, dreams, thoughts.
So there was also the announcement of the new Sims 5 coming as well. So I know, Hugh, you're a huge fan of the Sims. It won't be out until probably 2024, but now Sims 4 is now free basically everywhere because of it. And I say free, you still have to buy all the DLC, which is about 160 quid. So
I think it's way more than that, mate. The base game for Sims 4 is free, but I think if you were to buy all of the DLC at retail price, I think you'd be looking at least £1,000.
Oof,
easily, because there's so much.
Yeah, fuck that. The only other thing is I don't know if you've seen this, Hugh. I've been doing a deep dive on this, the classic N64. They've basically got this new emulator that puts all N64 games at 60 frames per second.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's crazy. It's crazy how nice it makes the games look. So they were showing off Link to the Past, Perfect Dark, GoldenEye, and how nice and smooth it looks. Doesn't mean the controls are going to work as well because it's not optimized properly for it.
Yeah.
Can I just say, how ridiculous is that you can play fucking GoldenEye in 60 frames per second, but Gotham Knights,
yeah, we didn't actually mention that.
Next gen exclusive fucking game is locked at 30.
No, a lot of people.
I don't generally care about frames per second.
Mm-hmm. Again,
I'm usually drunk anyway, so everything's kind of slow motion. But
using one eye, so you're only getting 15. So you're like,
yeah. But I mean, that's mental, isn't it?
So I have a an issue with it because they did delay it for this. Again, it is I was about to say Havoc. Fuck, what's the name of the company doing this? Rocksteady. Rocksteady have a habit of doing shit like this to the point where I'm not surprised, but I'm still pissed off at it. Like, Arkham Knight should have been a home run game for a trilogy game, and everyone would be like, that was one of the best trilogies we've ever made. But they fucked the launch, fucked an update, and then gave up on it. They gave up on all consoles, and they gave up on all PC usage as well. People's graphics cards were exploding and had all these issues with it, when a game that could have been easily fixed, they just didn't bother. People had done fan mods and stuff, which Rocksteady kept taking down. So to hear them have the audacity to turn around and go, nah, we're doing it 30 frames. They've had, 6 years or something like that to have a game that... But then, to turn around and blame it on, it's for a multi-plat. We didn't want other people to suffer from it. Other PlayStation 5 and Xbox users who have got these consoles that can easily run this, but you have to be a PC user to run it? Nah, something stinks. Something really stinks this.
I'd wait. That game's going to be 60 frames eventually. Like, they'll create an update, they'll do 2 modes, there'll be enough moaning and backlash for them to change their mind on this, because if they just went, alright, okay, you can get 60 frames but the game is HD instead of 4K, I think a lot of people would accept that.
Yeah, I think so.
It's just very annoying that we're sitting at this level of technology and they're like, we've made the judgment to make it 30 frames per second, while every other game in this generation is aiming for 60 or even higher. A lot of games are looking at 120 now.
Yeah, because these things can do it. These consoles, the PCs PCs have been able to do this for years.
60 should be the benchmark, should be the baseline for a next gen game by now.
Standard. It should be standard. 100% agree. And it's such a shame because I've been really wanting to play a Batman game. I've been really missing playing, especially if they're continuing from the series. So if they are, and this is what you're left with, you feel like the game is out in the next couple of days, and this only came out through someone through Discord who was just like, oh, by the way, I'm a producer, just to say, oh yeah, it's all locked to 30 unless you're a PC owner. Nah. And then that's why I think they've rescinded a lot of the copies. They're like, oh, we're going to give them out as codes and stuff, but we're going to be like, nope, we're pulling them all. And some people, the people that are giving it 9s and 10s and stuff, are the people that are playing on PC. Very, very stinky. Very stinky from WB, a very stinky company who tried to kill Cartoon Network as well, so they can go fuck themselves.
I know. Killed my fucking Lord of the Rings games, killed fucking Cartoon Network, destroying people's fucking movies and TV shows just for tax write-offs. Fuck WB.
Yeah, and we're not getting... We proudly had Catwoman and Brendan Fraser coming back for his comeback role in a DC movie. They decided to scrap it.
Let's leave the podcast on that negative note.
Yeah, fuck WB.
Anyway. You could say they're stinky.
They are stinky.
I do want to say though, sorry, we've had issues with this podcast. Just Hugh was so drunk and stuff. I think that's what we said earlier on.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Yeah.
I'll release the tapes, Hamish. I'll release the tapes.
But I've got plenty material on you, right? So this is a Cold War situation.
I don't know if it's as bad as this.
Well, yeah. We will try and get more regular, though. I'm away on holiday soon to Budapest, but we will try and get more things out soon. Because obviously you love us, judging by our recent downloads.
Yeah, exactly. And if it's not a case of you can be together, Hugh said he would do his own solo podcast. He's going to try doing an episode himself.
Yeah, he said he was going to call it Hugh's Views.
Yeah, and it was just about him talking about him looking out the window and going, you know what, that is a good view. Sorry, shit, have I spoiled episode 1?
I don't know if I could do Hugh's views because Hamish has done Ham Solo a few times, and the ramblings of a drunk man.
Yeah, like those episodes.
I
think you will find. I think you will find. Apart from that last episode, which got a ridiculous amount of downloads out of nowhere, those are some of our most popular episodes for a good reason, Hugh.
Maybe because it's like a spectacle. But
still gets those views, mate.
I had a lot of
listens,
clippable material in there as well. No, but yeah, we will do more. Like that's our New Year's resolution for 2025. We will do more podcasts.
2025. How long is it going to take you to edit this? Is that a silly question?
Hamish, did I stutter? 2025.
Did I stutter?
Anyway, let's leave it there, guys. Let's leave this on a good note and not ruin it like Hamish did. So I'll let our boys say goodbye to you. Say goodbye, Dom.
Bye, Dom.
Hamish, please just say goodbye. Don't give that diatribe you usually do.
I won't give the normal one, but I do. I'd feel, remiss if I didn't say. See, instead of Ariel, I think I'd go Elsa. She's hotter because she's blonde, and yeah. I mean, not like he's asked or anything about my holiday or anything like that, Yeah. But
mate,
I think it's fine.
Mate, I was about to say, like, if you went with her, man, she'd give you the cold shoulder.
Oh, funny. That's awful. That's a Hamish joke right there.
Enjoy your holiday, Hamish.
Thank you, mate. I'm sure I'll be fine because, I mean, looking at the two of you, I'm basically sitting next to Buddha and Pest anyway. So
there it is.
I've been waiting all podcast to get that one out. Thank you everyone for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode and hope you tune in next time as well.
Alright guys, if you're still here after listening to all that, I'll see you later.
Man, where can I get myself a Dragon Ball study?